the night out right. Panel at the table in that half-dead light. Miss Robin in the middle, calling every shot, directing and producing, till the story runs hot. 1-1 from the city, badge heavy on his chest, towing that law like a wicked chain, spitting facts, no rest. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. JJ in the corner, state of the deep in his head. Which lies to toss and which ones to keep instead. Dago from the cafe says forget about it, leans back, spins his thoughts like a blade cutting holes in the track. Lee at the front, head advocate, steady stare, every word like a warning, every silence a dare. All of them leaning in, clock crawling, eyes bright. Every secret feels louder than the buzzing of the night. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. You can bury it in paper, you can lock it in a file, but the truth bleeds through, drip by drip, tile by tile. We're dragging it to daylight, name by name, line by line. If you wrote it in the shadows, we'll read it out this time. Yeah. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite.
All right, everybody, welcome to a Crimes After Dark on a Friday night. Welcome to another show, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's when we always go. We're going to be going again tomorrow night. We're going to go again the next night, although I won't be on Sunday nights. You should know the routine by now. If not, you'll figure it out very shortly. We're going to bring our guests, our panelists. They're not really guests. I don't think we even have any guests yet, although this would be a great night for guests. So if you are in the panel, if you were in the chat and you want to join us on stage, hopefully Robin will send out a link here shortly to give you an invite. This would be a great night to join us because we don't have super scripted stuff, although I do have things to talk about. I did have a video come out this morning. Yeah, I talk fast, by the way. I had a video come out this morning on college coaches, Brent Kopacka, and whether or not, why it was that a Pullman police officer asked during the standoff with Kopacka if he was a college coach. Why the fuck would, a little early for the F-bomb. Sorry, guys. A little early for the F-bomb. Why would a Pullman police officer in that standoff ask if Brent Kopacka was a college coach? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China, as the saying goes? Anyways, we'll talk about that a little bit tonight. We'll talk about some of the theories that came out with Tyler Yelk and some other individuals, and whether or not Idaho State Police was taking that serious, but maybe Moscow Police Department wasn't taking it serious. All right, let's bring our panelists on in the order that they are backstage. We have Logan from BRONX Tales True Crime. How are you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excellent. I like that color blue. It's looking snazzy.
Thanks. I'm so proud of myself today. I have on real pants today. And it's Friday.
I have no pants on, so we're fair. I'm just kidding. So you got
I wasn't expecting that.
You bought a new outfit. You're good. You're good. You're feeling good. It's always good to treat
didn't
yourself.
buy a new outfit. I just
No?
have on
Just-
real pants today.
Oh, so
it's
it's not something new. Well, it's okay.
No,
I'm trying to go with you. I don't understand.
just real pants, and I feel like that was a step forward
As opposed
for me
to
in my
fake
life.
pants. As opposed to fake pants, like what does real pants mean to you?
Like I could go out in public in these.
Okay, and you usually
rather than
can't go out in public. Oh, sweatpants. Okay, so you're feeling a little more snazzy and dressed up. Unfortunately, this is kind of a waist up kind of show, so you can't even show off that you're wearing real pants and can go out like big kids.
I know, that's what matters.
you know, like that's fine.
Superwoman today.
To be fair, this is no shit. To be fair, I put on cologne sometimes before going on air, and nobody can fucking smell me at all. But I just feel like it makes me feel a little bit better about myself. So I put on some cologne, feel better about myself. Like, and it makes no sense. Like, what my wife's like, what? People can smell you? Like, no, they can't smell me, but I feel better about myself. So, anyways, anything special today that you want to share before we bring up more panelists?
No.
Fair, screw it. Then we'll just go for another person. How about Dago from True Crime Cafe? What's going on, bud?
Whoa.
Hello.
That microphone's really good.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you. I'm wearing pants. I am.
That's good. It's good. No
That's
perky pig on
great.
your side.
Yeah, I'm wearing pants today. I'm wearing pants.
Good.
I'm wearing cologne too. I do the same thing, and I've asked myself that. Like, I'll even take showers before I come in and do this. It's so weird to me. She's even asked me, she's like, "What are you doing?" She was like, "You're going on the internet," and I was like, "Don't ask me. I don't know. Whatever. I'm mental. Okay. It's all I can say."
It's funny. It's funny because do you know who Tony Robbins is? Anthony Robbins,
yes,
big
of course.
motivational kind of guy. So I got inspired by one of his books way back in the day. Tony Robbins just had a really impact on my life at one point in my life. But anyways, during some like documentary of Tony Robbins, they showed his backstage routine, and he would have a little small trampoline, and he would jump up and down on a trampoline, bouncing to like music and shit to get jazzed up before going on stage. And I was like, that's actually what that's part of the reason why I love our jazzed up music beforehand, because I kind of jam, I kind of get in the mood, I got the cologne on, I'm feeling good, and I get into I got a routine, a ritual before going on camera.
I learned that a long time ago. That's why my songs that I play songs now before my intro, and they're kind of upbeat if you listen to them all, just like this one was. That's why this one turned out this way, because it gets me hyped up right before we start. If you notice, I come in here wired most of the time, unless I'm sick. By the end of the stream, I'm like, yeah, okay.
So we put you to sleep during the conversation.
No, it's late and it's the end of the day, and I've already been out here for 35 hours and all that stuff. But the music thing gets me like, so yeah,
it gets me it gets me in the proper mood. Our Amanda, our moderator, is rocking some sweatpants right now. So there you go. I'm glad that everybody's sharing their moments of what's waist down for everybody today.
I'm wearing shorts. They're not pants, but they're not nothing. So just so you guys.
Thanks for sharing. I'm actually wearing sweats.
I'm
not naked from the waist down. I'm actually wearing sweats.
And can I understand what you said, Logan, that you don't go outside in sweatpants?
I mean, I walk the dog in sweatpants, but not to go somewhere and be presentable.
Right.
I don't like to do that.
Fair. No, it's great. I feel like now as we bring on the rest of our panel, we're gonna have to find out what they're wearing from the waist down on every single person.
Pants, at least pants.
Well, let's find out what Robin's got on below the waist. What's going on, Robin? How you doing? Oh, you're muted, by the way. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
You're muted.
Well, wouldn't you like to know?
Yes.
Whoa.
I mean, that's the theme of the show. That's the theme of the show.
Whoa.
Well, we weren't allowed to show from the waist down. Come on, guys.
Why the fuck does your sound get muted every time you come on?
No, StreamYard hates me.
They do hate you. Talk now.
Yeah. Oh well, life goes on.
I have
you ever
too.
You'll have good to know. Good to know. Yeah, I've got a garter belt on, so it's all good.
Yeah,
So,
my
Robin's
thumb
like,
is in
I
the
have
water.
shoes
So.
on.
Anything special going on in your world today, Robin?
Nope, not today.
Okay.
Just work, just the usual. It's the weekend, so that's always a good thing,
I don't know what it's like to work for a living anymore. I just get to
Yeah.
play all the time, so that's good.
We don't do anything. We just do this all day long. So
Yeah. All right, we're gonna bring JJ State of the Deep on screen next. What's up?
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
are you wearing pants?
I am not wearing pants.
Are you wearing shorts or sweats though?
Nope, I'm totally naked from the
Yes.
waist down.
Yes. He's doing it live.
Going commando. We're doing it live.
Hello to the denizens and the meatballs and all the mods.
Speaking of meatballs, make sure your seat is nice and clean.
I'm free balling it.
I hope to God you're not sitting.
Balling.
Don't be sitting on plastic or anything.
I was gonna
That
say, I hope
would
it's not
hurt.
plastic or leather. Good God, that could hurt.
My God, the
Not
show
good.
gets worse every night.
You know what I just thought of?
Hey, it's Friday.
Remember the
That's
yes, it's
right.
Friday night.
It's Friday, Robin. That's what it is. Yeah.
You remember those things
That's
you would
right.
fling it out, stick to the wall, it was like a hand, and it would stretch
Yeah.
out, and then it was. That's exactly what I
Yep.
just had a mental picture of.
I'm sorry
by
to
the
do
way-
that to you, Dago.
Well, we will get one on here shortly. I do have to say this though; it's kind of funny. Now, so Robin and I were having a conversation today, and it dawned on me a weird thing. Do you guys remember Howard Stern,
Of course.
Yeah.
the shock jock? Right. I was telling Robin, I was like, it seems like back in the day that Howard Stern would always say, "Hey, Robin, can you look something up to me?" Like was Howard Stern's co-host or sidekick or whatever you want to call her Robin? And yeah, it was Robin. It was the weirdest thing because now that we had that conversation, when I say, "Hey, Robin," I'm like, "Fuck, I'm Howard Stern." I'm like, I'm the guy that says shit a little over the top, and I go to Robin for some comments on the side, and I feel like I just became the Howard Stern show.
Yeah,
You're just like Howard Stern, DA.
Yeah.
There's some similar. I'm not over the top as much as he was. Believe it or not, he's way over the top even more than me. But it is what
He
it is.
was. He got pretty tame.
He got brought back down. Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of lawsuits and some divorces will probably do that to you. But anyways, let's bring on one. Hey, what's going on, King of the Clips?
Hello. Good evening.
Do you have pants on?
Good evening.
I'm only wearing a gun belt. That's it.
Well, that's true.
I can show my gun. I can show my gun too, but I don't want you to get flagged and get banned. So I don't know.
Oh my God, I'm pretty sure your fan base just grew. So there's that.
JJ's got sticky feet, and one's got a gun belt. Like we're rolling right now, folks.
I had
Oh my
a velour seat cushion, so I'm good.
We're supposed to save this. Okay, we are at 15 minutes. I think we're okay. We're past the adult point. Well, but we haven't put the children to bed. Let's put the children.
So-
What
Yes.
were you gonna say, David?
I was just gonna say, could you imagine if we did a show that wasn't true crime and we just came on and just throw it out there and just whatever the hell we're thinking, talking about, and just started going? Can you imagine that?
We
Isn't
came
that what
close
we-
last
isn't
night.
that what
We
we
did.
do?
Yeah, we last night we did over an hour with just 80s and 70s TV shows and shit.
I just wonder what that would be like. That's amazing
Yeah.
to me.
Hey, it's
I'll
Friday
believe
night.
that.
Anything can happen.
You know what? If there's ever a night, the honest truth is, if there's ever a night to go off script, it's Friday nights. So this would be it. But for the time being, let's get the children off to the Betty by bringing one
Sure.
up for our classic monologue.
All right. First, what are you drinking, Lee? You had a lot of energy today. So whatever you're
yeah.
drinking, I want that shit in my cup. Second, I get questions sometimes. What am I smoking? So here, it's I don't know if you guys can see it. Berserker
Yeah.
number 9. It's the
Jesus.
cigar.
Berserker.
This thing's
Good
bigger than
cigar.
your hand.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah,
That's my
it's good.
perfume.
Nice. I do
All
like
right.
the smell of cigars, by the way. I do like the
Mhm.
smell of cigars.
Juliana, Jackson, and my lovely wife. Have a good night. I love you guys. See you tomorrow. Is it good to be alive in the den on a Friday night?
Always.
Here we go. Some stories don't fade. They don't soften with time. They stay sharp. They sit in your chest, heavy, unmoving, like something unfinished. You hear the explanation. You hear the ending. You hear the words, case closed. And something inside you tightens because it doesn't feel closed. It feels abandoned. Tonight isn't about outrage. It's about that moment where your voice catches and you don't know why. About the space between what you're told and what you can live with. There are names in these stories, real names, that get reduced to sound bites, faces that stop being shown, lives that don't get follow-ups. And you try to move on, you really do, but some nights you can't because you keep thinking about the part that didn't make sense, the detail that was brushed aside, the question that was answered too quickly. And it hurts, not loudly, but constantly. We're not here to accuse. We're here because ignoring this feeling feels worse, because pretending the weight isn't there doesn't make it lighter. We slow down because speeding past this feels wrong. We stay because someone has to, because closure that comes too easy often comes at someone else's expense. So if the words hesitate tonight, if the silence lasts longer than it should, that's not a mistake. That's respect. For the people who never got to finish their story, for the questions that still ache when spoken out loud, for the truth that feels close enough to cry over and far enough to never hold. If this cracks your voice, let it. Some stories deserve to be carried, even when they're heavy. This is Devil's Advocates. And with that, live from New York, it's Friday night.
Thank you very, very much. By the way, while you were talking, I saw this on screen and I want to talk about this for a moment. Tanya 7 says, never been to New York, but one definitely makes me think it smells like cigars, probably also pee, but cigars first.
Whoa.
Now, first of all, let me say this. I visited New York for the first time in my life. And this is I want to get this out. I know we got a group that won't let me get shit out. I was surprised. One, New York does not smell like pee. At least the part of New York that I visited, I was or cigars. Maybe weed, a little bit about weed. I don't know, but New York doesn't smell any different than Seattle. I used to spend a lot of time in Seattle. One thing I want to say is this is what was weird. In my entire life, I've had a perception of New York because of an experience I had as a child with Los Angeles. So we went to Los Angeles one time, and I don't know if you would know, but coming down, I think it's I-5, coming down I-5 into Los Angeles, it's kind of in a bowl, and there was a smog layer over the city that I thought were clouds, and it wasn't clouds, it's pollution that just hangs over the fucking city. And it's a nasty layer of pollution that hangs over the city. And I expected that in New York. I'm like, well, if that's Los Angeles, New York's got to be fucking covered in smog all the time, and there's got to be this smell of pollution. It wasn't like that. New York was nice. Like I don't know if I just went to the nice. Granted, I didn't go to the Bronx or anything like that, but I went in. Manhattan was nice. It was everything smelled great. It was like I was like, where's my perception? This would be a shitty shithole.
You got to go to the Bronx.
I wasn't in the Bronx.
Yeah,
I could take you. I could take you to a few places and might change your opinion.
Or Brooklyn.
Well, Logan's show is Bronx Tales, and she has a clip from the movie, right, Logan, on your page, right?
From
Didn't
which
you have
movie?
a Bronx Tales clip or something on your page?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I thought when I went to your page originally, maybe it was just the different videos were popping up, but when I was a young lad in New Jersey, one of my best friends who lived on my street was from City Island in the Bronx.
Not
Ah,
Island City, but City Island.
that's where I qualify to go shooting.
Yeah. So you know City Island.
Yeah.
And when my buddy was a year younger than me, so I got my license before him. And as soon as I got my license, we would every week, because you can't go to bars, you're underage to drink, and you're super young looking. So we would drive to City Island. And if anybody's seen the movie A Bronx Tale, the opening scene with Robert De Niro and his son,
Of course.
they pull onto City Island and park the bus.
Mhm.
And I used to hang out in City Island every weekend. We'd go there and hang out with his old Bronx buddies. It was a trip, man. It was a trip when you're young, and that's a world away, even though it's not that far from where I grew up.
Yeah.
I was super excited to break my cherry with New York, because I have been my entire life, I've been terrified of going to New York, biggest city in the US, right? And it's just like, I was like, this place is probably, I'm going to be a little guy in a fucking big pond and whatever. And it didn't feel like that really at all. I guess, I don't know. Maybe I spent enough time in Seattle proper that it didn't feel all that much difference. I think it was considerably bigger. New York is considerably bigger than Seattle, considerably bigger. But anyways, for what it's worth, I used to work about a block and a half away from the Space Needle, so I felt like I was in downtown Seattle. Yeah, it was unexpectedly nice. But then again, I purposely avoided the subways going into the Bronx or fucking Harlem or whatever fucking idea. I was like, yeah, I think I've heard enough bad stories about those places. I think I'll stay out of that place.
Yeah,
Harlem's pretty swanky now, isn't it?
Well, the subways are like a shit show right now, but yes, Harlem is like super gentrified. There's like 125 and St. Nicholas Avenue, I think. I could be off on one on the street. It's right near there. That's like central Harlem. They have an IHOP right there. It's not like it was. It's not like it was in like the early 90s or like, even like in the beginning of Harlem, like Columbia University and a lot of the colleges are like, they're renting out apartment buildings and stuff like that. So, but it's expensive. But I could tell you, I could tell you though, it's New York City, especially Manhattan, is like super interesting. So one of our housing developments, per se, whatever the correct term that you want to call it, it's called the Polo Grounds. The Polo Grounds is all the way up north. It's North Harlem. If you're at the top of the Polo Grounds, so you go up there, you have like a whole view of Yankee Stadium and everything, and you're literally like you're standing in the middle of like a shithole, basically. There's like people like pissing and shitting in the hallway. They could, if they made that into like an actual, apartment complex, they would make a ton of money. And it's made, you have like these amazing views and all this stuff, and it's in the middle of a shithole. So the Polo Grounds is where old Yankee Stadium, like years and years ago, and Giants used to play there. So it's got like a lot of history, and it's just like in the middle of a shithole.
I will say, and then I'm gonna just step away for just a moment off camera, but I will say that when we moved, so we live right now in a very rural, mountainous community with mountains everywhere, and it's gorgeous. But I was missing the idea of moving away from the big city, and we had, because like my whole life I wanted to live in a big city. We were always in a small place. Then I got a job promotion. I moved to Seattle, and I was living in Everett, which is a kind of a suburb of Seattle, if you will. Anyways, Everett has a reputation for being a pretty dirty place, but we had an all right place. But anyways, just before we're kind of making this life decision to move to Eastern Oregon, where it's beautiful and whatever, we're like, man, we're gonna have a culture shock. And I was in line. I'll never forget. I was in line at at Burger King when a guy decided to just rip down his pants and take a shit right in the parking lot right in front of me. And I thought, you know what I'm not going to fucking miss? I'm not going to miss somebody taking a shit while I'm ordering breakfast right in front of my face. So there's something to be said for being in a small place. You know what I've never seen here? Somebody taking a shit in the parking lot while I'm trying to order breakfast. So there's that.
That's a very interesting visual. Yeah.
Well, it was worse when you were there.
Yeah, unfortunately, in big cities, man, in certain areas, I saw it many times in New York City because I hung out there pre-Giuliani when it was a rough place, and some of the things I saw, I wish I hadn't seen.
I bet
I got a list of things I wish I hadn't seen. Real quick, I just want to say thank you to Peter Sky Parker for the gift here. I'm not sure what the 1 of 10 thing is. But I need to step off. What are you laughing about? Am I missing the 1 of 10 thing?
I think that's our goal.
It's because
I thought it was like 1 of 10 people shitting in the parking lot. I don't know. Whatever it was, I'm thankful for Peter Sky for the money. I'd be right back, guys. I'll be
9 more shits to go. 9 more shits to go.
So my big
and thank you, Peter, for the super sticker.
My big claim to failure was I thought I was going to be a rock star. So me and my band drove in a van, 4 guys in a van from here to LA for 3 days. Went absolutely broke after the first day. Had to have money Western Union to us. Didn't shower for 3 days. Slept in a van. That smelled horrible, by the way. Went into one bar and played a battle of the bands and an amateur night. We sucked compared to everybody in LA at that time was in a band, and we came from Ohio. Okay. So it was like, yeah, okay, forget it. Called my buddy Dan's mom, said, we need money. We have to come home. We're scared because LA scared the shit out of us when we were 18 years old. That's it. Boom. I'm done. After that, it was over. So yeah.
Dude, the band, I love hearing band stories because I never went on the road. Like I never toured.
Right.
But I did some band trips where we literally had to rent a shitty van just to get to a gig so we could fit all our gear in.
Right.
And save on gas money, if everybody's piled into the van. And I go, this is one will appreciate this. Hey, one, is the Red Lion still on Bleecker Street?
I believe so.
There was a bar on Bleecker Street. It's been there forever. Really popular bar called the Red Lion. And it's just a great pub, always packed. And they have live music all night till like 2:30 in the morning. And they owned a little tiny club in the Village that was all original music. So totally different. They just owned, it was called the Lion's Den. And my band, a little band from Jersey, was an original band. We used to play at the Lion's Den in New York. And the guy who booked both of those, damn, DA.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh.
You talk about my microphone.
Sound like a toilet flushing.
Fucking continue. I got a story. Continue.
All right. So long story short, the same guy booked both places. And so the headlining band fell out on a Friday night at the Red Lion, and he liked us. So he booked us to fill in for this other band. And anybody who knows, like New York City on a Friday night when the weather's nice, it's insane. I mean, there's thousands of people on the street.
Yeah.
It's a really pedestrian city. So everybody's out. So we were shitting our pants because the Red Lion, first of all, it's always packed. I mean, elbows to elbows. And we were an original band. This place was all cover bands, right? And we're like the headlining slot. So we're like, this could be a do or die situation, like sink or swim, right? Because you're in a bar in New York City. It's Friday night. Everybody's out after the work week. They want to sing along to songs that they know. And we were getting ready to go on. And we're in the back, tiny little green room. And we're like, oh, this could be really, really bad. We're like, so we got to hit them hard, like right out of the gate. right? Because you're nervous. Like we're in our 20s, we're like playing for a packed house.
Yep.
And for that like 2 minutes right before we started, I was really nervous. And like usually I didn't get that nervous before shows, but because New York, man, the bands are so good.
Yes.
There's so many.
Very much
Anybody,
so.
you guys know, if you've ever followed like the music scenes, that's some of the most concentrated area of phenomenal musicians. And we weren't like virtuoso musicians. And we went out there, man, and we just threw it as hard as we could. And we played a song that people could dance to, and the place just went nuts and everybody started dancing. And it was like the sigh of relief that came from my body.
Absolutely.
To be embarrassed in New York City in front of hundreds of people, that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
When you travel to a city, you know, like you were talking about LA, it's very intimidating to play in places like that.
Well, especially when you see like musicians that you know are real famous musicians. We saw 3 or 4 different people, and all of these bands that were coming into these bars for this. You okay, Logan?
Sorry,
Catching
thank
flies?
you so much, Pokey. Pokey just sent me $50 on Cash App. That's
Holy
awesome.
piss balls. Oh,
that's
nice
so
job.
sweet.
Good
Thank
job,
you so
Pokey.
much. And thank you, Bianca and Yuri, as well, for the super stickers.
You
I
got it.
Buy
appreciate you
yourself
guys so
another
much.
pair of pants for going out.
Yes.
That's what you need.
Yes. No more sweatpants for you.
That's right. No more sweatpants for Bronx.
But like you were saying, like if you're an original band, that's like choke or die. It's swear to God, it's petrified. And you always got the dude in the back, and you start playing original that they don't know, and they're like, play some Skinner, dude. Every damn time you play, so that's what they want. Okay. And if you're playing your own music, you're either gonna choke, like I said, or it's gonna work. So good for you for that, dude. That's awesome.
My God.
Yeah.
Stories like that.
So we'll get to true crime, I swear. I know some people are like, are you guys ever going to get to the fucking true crime show
It's
that you're actually
Friday.
supposed to be? It is Friday. And I have 3 stories I want to tell now, because I was just going to tell one story and then you brought up fucking play some Leonard Skinner. Anyways, my story that I thought was funny, how my wife and I bonded on one thing. Get this for a throwback. 1983, MTV had like a battle of the bands kind of thing. It was called Basement Tapes. And a band that won that competition was called Rail. Rail played at Red Lion. So like, as you guys are talking about Battle of the Bands and Red Lion, I'm like, I watched Rail at the Red Lion locally. And it was funny because nobody knew who the fuck Rail was. They had a song called 1, 2, 3, 4 rock and roll. 1, 2, you know what I'm talking about? Like that. Anyways, it was a badass. Yeah. And this lead singer was like 5 foot fucking 4 and had like cockswagger for days, but he was a little tiny guy. But anyways, it was funny because nobody knew who the fuck Rail was. And when I met my wife, somehow I was just mentioning in passing Rail, and she's like, oh my God, I loved Rail. And I'm like, this woman was meant to be in my life. It's like she's one of the only people who knew Rail. Anyway, so when you guys talked, it was funny because I was going to mention that about the Battle of the Bands, and then he went to Red Lion. I'm like, I watched Rail at the Red Lion at my local town. It's fucking badass.
That is cool. Very cool.
Well, it's just we're just talking shit. You know, whenever like Dago brings up music and stuff like that, it reminds me of the old days.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of, I mean, it seems like it was like
there's my wife. She said she saw Rail at her local town. Yeah, we had that. We bonded over. Wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I want to say my wife. I want to say my wife met Terry. The lead singer was Terry James Young. I want to say she met him, but maybe she didn't. But because somebody told me, and it may have been my wife, that he was an arrogant prick, like 5'4", and the guy fucking thought he was God's gift to women because he's the lead singer of a
Ronnie
fucking
James
rock
Dio,
band.
same way.
Yeah. But anyway, so maybe it was my wife. I don't know. She can clarify.
She said he was a jerk.
I met them all. She said, and he was a jerk. That's what my wife just said in the chat. I met them all, and he was a jerk. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. For what it's worth. Rail.
Have a great night, everybody. It was a great show. We'll see you soon.
Later. Last night we did an hour of movies and TV shows. Now we're doing throwbacks from MTV. By the way, rest in peace, MTV. They're done, right? They retired.
Yep. They've been retired for years, you guys. They quit playing.
They stopped playing music a long time ago.
Yeah. I used to love MTV too. Headbangers Ball. I
right.
loved
Adam
it.
Curry and fucking back in the day
Nina
was the
Blackwood.
shit.
Yeah,
Nina Blackwood. Back in the day was the shit.
What was the
I
first
still
song?
do.
We'll get started. I promise, but I have to ask this to all of you. Well, hold on, Logan. Are you
I
familiar with
know
MTV?
the answer already. Oh yeah, I know the first video
Yes.
ever played.
Of course.
What was the first? No, I know you know the answer to that, Lee. But what was the first video all of you ever saw on MTV, if you remember?
Sinead O'Connor.
Nothing compares.
It's been 15 hours and something days.
I loved that song. I loved that song.
That was a good song.
Oh, that one.
Yes, that one.
Well done.
Didn't she
well done.
Didn't she
Good
wrap
job.
herself in like an Irish flag and make some kind of protest against the Pope and shit and burned her whole fucking career
Yeah,
down?
like she almost lost her life over that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So-
Skinhead O'Connor is what we used to call her. Skinhead instead of Sinead O'Connor, we called her Skinhead O'Connor. Yeah,
absolutely. So that was yours, and JJ, what was yours?
Honestly, I don't remember, man. That's so long ago. I honestly don't remember.
Mine, I'll give you mine, was Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. I remember that clearly to this day.
Yeah, that was a big
wow.
one.
That was
I don't know. We will get the true crime, I swear to God, but I don't know that I know my first video I saw on MTV, but I think the first video that I became obsessed with, it was Motley Crue, like fucking not Shout at the Devil, but
Home Sweet Home.
one of their no, it wasn't even that. It was before that. It was before that on their first album, Shout at the Devil, but it was like Looks That Kill, I think. She's Got the Looks That Kill.
Yes, when
that's
they
the
still
song.
wore the makeup.
Yeah,
shit.
and they were all in the fucking leather and the fucking eyeliner and the fucking the like Nikki Sixx had the fucking football things under his eyes, and I was like, this fucking band kicks ass.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, that was my introduction to MTV. I was like, I want to grow up to be just like those guys.
I was in a Motley Crue video.
No.
Nice.
I swear to God, it wasn't done on purpose, but the SOS video that they filmed in Cleveland here at the Coliseum, same old situation.
Yeah,
Vince shoved a camera ball out to the audience where they were filming. They filmed that video there, okay? And the camera ball passed over my head. I touched it, and I was in the video that way. So,
oh
nice.
my God, I was obsessed with Motley Crue. I watched every fucking documentary. I wanted to be fucking half those guys and live their life. And anyways, okay,
now,
what?
let me give you the downside to that story real quick, and I'll shut up. I promise.
Oh yeah.
Tommy came out, even though I love him because I'm a drummer, but he came out. He came out on his cage, and he was wearing a G-string. So when he comes out to the top of the crowd, and you're looking up yelling, and all you see is his balls dangling, you're like, what the hell? It really bad.
Wait a minute, dude. Now so yes, I had a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend obsessed with Tommy Lee and his giant fucking schlong and that same outfit. Remember when he had the rolling cage that would roll into the 360 spin?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. She talked about him and his fucking dangling balls from that fucking G-string thing. Dude, you take me back.
I lost every bit of respect for him I had that night when I looked up and saw what I saw and said, I'm done. I can no longer follow this band. I'm done.
Oh my God. All right. We're done.
Sorry.
We're done. Let's talk some true crime.
Just flipping
That
around.
is true crime.
I mean,
Tommy Lee's balls is true crime.
What Tommy Lee and Pamela Lee Anderson, the whole porn tape between them two of them. Anyways, we're done. We're done. We're talking about true crime. We're only like 40 minutes into the show. Let's talk some true crime. I wanted to talk to you guys, for those who saw my video this morning, not to be like making my video the focus, but we did the deep dive, right? I'm looking at on a members only live about the whole body worn camera footage, and an officer from the Pullman Police Department is talking. And by the way, interesting story, by the way. I want to know if you guys know the story about this. At one point, an officer is getting Christian Yenna out of the apartment with Brent Kopacka the night of that shooting. And again, for those who know the Idaho 4 story very well, you know Brent Kopacka's story and how he was a vet shot and killed like 1 month and a day or so after the murders, right? But as a female officer is escorting Christian Yenna out of the apartment, she says, "What is your name?" And he says, "Gabrielle." And doesn't blink an eye. And then later on, somebody in the car I didn't point this out on my video, but the driver of the car did not look happy that the officer was asking if they could give Christian and his dog a ride home. He did not want to give Christian and his dog his ride home. I got that impression, but I didn't say it on the video. But then I was asking, so here's the weird part about that. Jordan Baker, one of the other roommates, on an interview stated that this would have been one of the weirdest years of his life, and he had just gotten out of a cult. Does anybody remember him talking about this? Where he said he'd just gotten out of a cult? Someone told me that Christian Yenna was in a cult from California and that his religious name was Gabriel, like Raphael, Gabriel, all these different angels' names. And that was his angel name, Gabriel. And I don't know if there's any truth to that, but have you heard anything about this? Is there anything, was he part of that cult that Jordan Baker got out of? And how weird is that fucking shit?
That's pretty wild. I mean, that makes sense, because I remember at the interview he did say he had just gotten out of a cult, but that's all I knew.
Yeah, and the quote unquote pastor, who is supposedly, I think, the guy that got Jordan Baker out of the apartment, he was not happy with the idea of Gabrielle, aka Christian, getting in the car with them. So you have to wonder, and maybe I've spent too much time making up stories in my head, but did a local church get Jordan out of some weird ass cult in which Christians, aka Gabrielle, his angel name or whatever? Somebody else said maybe that Gabrielle was the name of his dog, and maybe he thought they were asking what his dog's name was, and he said Gabrielle. But whatever the story is, I've been struggling with. If anybody knows in our chat or on our panel why Christian Yenna said his name was Gabrielle, which is also a very feminine sounding name, not Gabriel, but Gabrielle. Why did he say his name was Gabrielle? Does anybody know the answer to that on the panel or in the chat?
No, I have no idea.
No, I never heard that till tonight.
I mean, you got a lot of freaky, when you're in a college town area, especially one where people don't make a lot of money. Like the economy in a place like Moscow is not like a city or a suburb of a major city. Right, where people are industrious, they're making a lot of money, they're busy, they're doing things. If you're in like a little town like that and you're just kind of kicking around, you get into some weird shit. People get into some weird shit.
And Mama J might have been the one that told me that the name Gabrielle was his kind of church name. It was from this religious cult. And again, I know enough about Western and Eastern, well, this would be more Western esotericism to know that people who are into those kind of things, Raphael and Gabriel and,
angel names
are a thing, right?
Yeah.
Why the hell did I blank on the other ones? Michael, of course.
Michelangelo.
Michael. Yeah. Anyway, so the point being, so I that might have been when Mama J told me, and I'm not saying that I don't disbelieve that, but I was curious. Like I heard several explanations. One said it was his name of his dog, and so maybe even. But anyways, I just wanted to throw it out there as an interesting aside. The other thing, though, that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Go ahead. What do you got, John?
No, I was just going to say, DA. I mean, you've been there a few times. I was only there once. I could see where there's some wacky shit going on in that area.
Well, here's the other thing. I hate to say this, but it's a fucking Friday night, so I'm going to let my hair down. Shit, I don't even have any hair. Anyways, the point being is, I do have hair, by the way, so I have some hair. But anyways, I was told some weird rumors that the roommates of Brent Kopacka were constantly trying to get him into a threesome. And that people who would go over to their apartment would leave because it was so uncomfortable with the pressure they were putting on to get Brent Kopacka to join them. If those roommates were Gabrielle's, aka Christian, was there kind of like, you're giving me a look, Dago, like you don't know what I'm talking about. Have you ever heard these rumors about the roommates trying to get Kopacka to engage with them in a sexual threesome thing?
No, I mean, you said something about you said something about this the other night, and I was a little put to the side but I did hear something about Christian. I think it was Christian, or was it Jordan? It was Jordan. No, it was Christian. Yeah, I heard something about Christian was in a multi-faceted relationship or something, like both men and women or something. That's the only thing I remember hearing, but that was a long time ago. Besides that, no.
Yeah, and several people, by the way, and I hate to go down this road as well, but several people are talking about Christchurch. We talked a little. Somebody mentioned Doug Wilson in Christchurch. Yeah. Christchurch is a big church in Moscow area, and the Kirkers and all this whole fucking story. Yeah. I don't know how much you guys know about it or want to get into it, but that was one of my other questions as well. Like, was Jordan and the church that rescued him from a cult, were they Christchurch, or was he involved in Christchurch and that was the cult? Is there any connection between Gabrielle and his, like, I don't know. I'm just asking questions. And again, if nobody knows the answer, we won't go too far down.
When we looked into the Christchurch, because everybody thought that may have had something to do with this whole thing in the beginning, because it was an odd setting for the church, but they never did anything we could find. There was no weird like names or anything like that, or like multi things like that going on. And what I meant by what I was saying about, I think it was Christian, or maybe it was Jordan. Anyway, that he was in a dual relationship is what it was called, for if I remember, that with a man and a woman, all three of them together. It was a relationship. So if that was the case, maybe that's how that got out there about Brett Quebec and all that other stuff. That could make sense then. So
yeah, I had gotten the impression. Yeah. Anyways, we're getting into some weird areas. I will say this, by the way, I've had a local in the area. 4 of 10. What's the fucking 4 of 10? You don't have to read this, Lee.
Thanks, Peter.
Peter,
we're halfway there.
Whatever we're going to. Woo-hoo,
living on a prayer.
Maybe F-bombs.
It's a goal.
You've dropped more than
It's
4
like a drinking game. We got to figure out what the hell it is. Like he's like
it's a goal. Like a super jack goal.
A goal for how many super stickers or whatever.
Did you guys set the goal? Because we didn't set a goal on our side. Did you guys?
Nope.
I did. I was trying to figure out what it was. I've never clicked that button before.
Did you set a goal of 10?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well there you go. You're 4 of 10.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Peter Sky Parker's on your case.
Uh-huh. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it.
I was going somewhere with this. Oh yeah, I know what I was gonna say. Because it's a Friday night, I'll let my hair down a little bit if I haven't done that already. We had a local that was talking to me about, and trust me, this was hard for me. I had a local who was saying, "You're missing what really happened in Idaho 4, and you haven't even talked about it. It is all about sex trafficking, and it involves Christchurch, Doug Wilson and the Christchurch. And Kaylee was involved with hooking up with Christian couples to be their third." And I thought, like, look, I'm not going to rule that out as a possibility, but until I had receipts, I wasn't about to fucking talk about it on my live show. And here I am now on a live show talking about it. But it's a Friday night. So did you guys hear any rumors about sex trafficking through the church in particular, or sex trafficking through Idaho or anything like that? And the girls, other than, again, my conversation where I talked about today about the coaches and a woman that was keeping a spreadsheet, hooking up college girls with coaches. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on the whole? And I'm going to add one more piece. When Steve Gonzalez said some ugly things are going to come out in this thing, whatever, was there some girls in the house that were involved in some kind of, I don't even want to fucking say it. I'm just asking, what do you guys think about that? Is there an element of this we've missed that has to do with some kind of trafficking? Or
I've read stuff. I mean, I've read stuff online or like various times that alluded to sex trafficking, but not specifics. Like, I didn't dig deep into it, but nothing surprises me. I mean, look at how prevalent sex trafficking is. I mean, we're literally looking at a global sex trafficking network that's been exposed with the wealthiest, most powerful people in the world. And I've said this many times, if corruption trickles down from the top, because if things are going on at the highest levels, they tend to trickle down. So in a college town, a remote college town where there's drug trafficking, they tend to go hand in hand. You know, if you have an area that's got a lot of drug trafficking, sex trafficking is typically also going on in those areas.
I have been specifically looking into trafficking for the past like 2 weeks, like very, very deep. And that's because of somebody that Kaylee's parents are involved with.
Is this the girl out of Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about that now or no?
No.
No.
Man, she gave you the Heisman, DA.
And there again,
I know what she's talking about. She's like, nope, don't want to fucking talk about it.
But I do want to say this though. There again is another Texas connection. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
There's something going on with Texas, you guys. I'm sorry, but I can't get past that. I can't.
Well, come on, Dago. There's a fucking serial killer in Austin that they won't even admit to.
Lady Bird Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Bird Lake.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's a fact. JJ, yes,
Robin, you know about that case? Yeah.
Well, and that whole area down there is just a cesspool for murder, and they keep trying to pass it off as just accidental drownings, just like a lot of the Native American people that go missing in the winter. They just all went out and it suddenly had hypothermia.
Yep.
It's the same thing no matter where you go. They just pass it off as some kind of natural thing, and it's not.
Well,
but they want us all to believe it is.
What Robin just said is a big deal, like in Alaska within like the indigenous. Oh my God, it's so bad. They just they all end up being found deceased from hypothermia or froze to death.
That's right.
Like, what the hell is going on with this? And people just pass.
Canada's the same way.
Yeah, and it's normal.
So it's not just us. Canada's the same way.
Right.
It reminds me of something that JJ has said about Vail, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a super touristy place. They live on tourist activity. So, and he laid it out for me one time. If there was a serial killer, for example, acting in Vail, the local newspapers will do everything they can to hide that from the public because it would kill tourism if people are like, I think we'll pass going to Vail this year because there's a fucking serial killer out there. And so they'll just blow that shit up in the fucking news as either not talking about it or saying it's something other than it is, because there's a financial destruction for your city that thrives. These towns that thrive on tourism will get destroyed if you admit you've got a serial killer in the area, because people will just choose to go somewhere else. That's what
I think is happening with Lady Bird Lake, because every time somebody comes up in that area, the police pop out right away immediately and say there's no foul play involved, none at all.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Well, Austin's getting to be a big tourist area because of the music scene. Austin is exploding onto the music scene. So and it's becoming to Texas what Nashville is to Tennessee.
Yes.
So of course, people are coming there to hear a bunch of bands and stuff like that. They don't want to hear, they don't want that to wreck what they've got going on. And then you've got big universities there. So of course they don't want their kid. It's the same thing as Idaho 4. Yep. You've got these kids that, or not kids, but you want to send your kids there, but not if there's a serial killer and they can't, they need the money. So
Austin is a huge university. UT Austin is a giant school with a top football program, and it's a booming city now. It's been booming for a while. I was there a year ago, and it's a fun place. I gotta tell you, the music scene rocks there. Every bar's got a live band. There's phenomenal food there. It's a fun place.
While I'd love to talk about money, you brought up football as well, right? So I want to ask you, like, we've talked about before in the Idaho 4 case, whether there was a motivation of the university to pin this on anything other than something that would make the university look bad. So going back again to the idea of, if there was a college coach, for example, or as was in the legal documents I looked at today, the police referred to it as an operation, the babysitter operation, in which babysitters were, 20-something-year-old babysitters were hooked up. And I kind of joked, but I was only half joking. Hey, I think I want a babysitter, maybe blonde, maybe a little busty, about your age. It seemed like it's that kind of spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Hooking up.
It could be.
If that were to come out, that was the kind of thing going on at the college, and they're protecting big football organizations and the live, let's face it, football is what pays the bills for a lot of these universities. So if you had that kind of situation, would police departments and universities be incentivized to cover up any kind of scenario that would lead to a coach having inappropriate relationships with co-eds, maybe getting one of them pregnant or whatever the rumors were? Does that not fall in the realm of possibility?
Yeah, of course. I don't know that it'd be related to their athletic program per se, because they're not a big money program, but money as far as people going to the college. They have a big music program there, by the way, at University of Idaho. It's actually a top jazz program in the country. But we talked about this. I mean, the last thing the school would want to come out is that there was any kind of connection between anybody either in local police or related, connected to in any way the university to be implicated, not even necessarily as a top suspect per se, but if it came out, let's just say hypothetically, DA, to your point, that a coach had some funny business going on with students, or a police officer had something going on with a student, right? That's all one and the same. It's a college town. So the local police would be lumped in with that town and that university. Yeah. So that would be a major problem for the university.
But we have to ask ourselves too, why was the FBI there? Why were the Cowboys there? Like, it's big enough for them to be there. So like, what is it that's intertwined with the university and the 3-letter agencies is how I feel.
I think for me, Logan, so first of all, I want to say this: the Cowboys. I think you're referring to the Cowboys that showed up at 1122 King Road residence, right? That many people say are marshals. I'm not yet convinced they're marshals. I bought in, like everybody did, that was marshals. And the only reason I'm questioning it is because of the badge that people showed, which at first I said that looks like a marshal's badge to me as well. But it also apparently looked like a local sheriff's badge. So I'm not sure if they were a sheriff's department or if they were marshals.
Well, they were all hiding their faces from the camera.
I agree. And that's sketchy as fuck. We do know Homeland Security was involved as well. Now, where I was going with that is the Homeland Security angle always said to me, drugs. Like, and trust me, I was not one of the first people to jump on the drug angle. Like, from day one, I thought this was a jealous ex-boyfriend, Jack DeCour kind of situation is the most obvious scenario that happened in that house that night. Only after shit started to come out, like Homeland Security being involved. They're like, why the fuck would Homeland Security get involved with some incel from, that's when I started to go, well, what would Homeland Security get involved with? Drug smuggling across the Mexican border. That's something Homeland Security would get involved with. Now, the counter to that whole argument is Homeland Security might have been brought in only for the purpose of they were doing a lot of interviews and law enforcement is stretched thin, and it's not uncommon for other agencies to help out and like, hey, I'm in the local area, I can help you out with that, I'll do that interview for you. So I never have ruled out for sure that Homeland Security's involvement was anything other than they were stretched thin and Homeland Security happened to be in the area where they wanted an interview done, and so they did it. But if Homeland Security was in there for any other reason, it was because of drugs, in my opinion, coming across the Mexican border.
Well, or actually, I would say regarding that, I would say more likely it's related to the Canadian border, drugs leaving that area, going into Canada, because any crossing of the border with any illegal activity would be a federal thing, and they're right by Canada. Now, of course, it deals with drugs going through the area that might be coming from Mexico, but they're so close to Canada that they could have had operations in the area to try to catch people going into Canada. Trafficking and sex trafficking could be a very plausible thing.
I was gonna say that when I looked into DHS, Department of Homeland Security, they only get involved if there's drugs, trafficking, and things like that, or like immigration and stuff. So if you break it down and see what's left, it says drugs or some sort of trafficking, in my opinion, of course. But
yeah, I agree, man. It's I mean, oh God, this fucking case.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I did this breakdown on the college coach thing, and then I started going down to the Tyler and whatever, I thought to myself, I don't need another fucking suspect. Like I need another suspect in this case, like a hole in the head. There's a million suspects. And at the end of the day, that's the thing that bugs me the most. There are at least a half dozen better suspects than Bryan Kohberger in this case. That's the part that bugs me. There's probably at least a half dozen better suspects with more interesting motives than Bryan Kohberger.
Yeah.
Like, one quick thing, like I've said over and over again, one of my theories from early on was that one of the people in that house, one of the victims, knew information that could have implicated people in a relatively high position, whether it be at the university, whether it be in law enforcement, or related to drugs in some way, shape, or form. And that was one of my theories early on, that they had information, and that's why it happened when Kaylee was back in town.
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Look, my theory has become. Oh, Logan was about to say something. I can tell.
No, I was just going to say that goes with the officer saying that one of the victims is a CI.
Right, right. My theory now, if I were to put money on it, if I were coming at this fresh and I knew what I know now, but I became fresh to the case, I would say that one of that relationship between the University of Idaho Moscow Police Department with embedding police officers into the fraternities and sororities, and one of those kids in the house was a CI, had ratted on a drug trade, and that got everybody fucking killed in that house. And that's what I feel like is most likely to happen. And it makes total sense in my understanding of how the world works, that if the police department knew that this was a CI that got hit, they would find anything to divert that story coming out, and they would find a suspect that is close enough and go balls deep in convicting that person, because that's exactly what the book Framed is about, is when the prosecution decides they want to hide a CI or cover their involvement or something like that, and they need somebody else, they find the next best thing and they go balls in on that thing and never then let anything come out otherwise. And I feel like that's what happened in this case. I feel like Moscow Police Department knew damn well what happened that night. And they couldn't let it come out because it would ruin the university. It would ruin the police department's $16 million contract with the University of Idaho or whatever it was. That's a lot of money and a lot of incentive to have it be anything other than they fucked up and let a CI get killed right under their nose. A CI that they encouraged to rat on the drug trade to a police department. And if they got people killed for that, that would be incentive, in my opinion, to hide that shit. What do you guys think?
Yeah, until it's one of their kids, and then it'll be a different story, though.
Dago, did you just get hit in the head with your microphone?
Me?
I'm not talking about it, but yes, Robin, that's correct.
It's like a giant. Anyways.
Yes, I agree with what you just said. But yeah, I
just got hit in the face. Like, oh, I can't see.
Absolutely, 100%.
Poke my eye out with my mic. You gotta be careful, Dago.
It's Friday night.
God,
I'm
it's
about
soft,
to go.
but it just like
it's all fun and games. So someone looks at it.
Anyway,
I'd be smacking my microphone if
I
I had it next to my head. Oh my god, I'd be hitting it constantly.
What the hell just happened?
At least this one stopped.
Yeah, but that's good.
Oh Jesus,
pills can fix that.
DA, that's one of the theories we've all talked about for a while. Is that the part of the cover up was that the university had a lot of sway in this investigation. And
by the way, I want to say this is odd too. Again, I want to talk why why the video is kind of fresh about the Tyler Yelk thing, or Yelk. Anyways,
Yelk.
The assistant coach for the Vandals, because it also is incentive. It is also incentive to protect the organization, the program, the money that's involved, kind of thing. And I'm not saying. And that's why I want to be careful. I'm not saying that guy was involved in it, but it was clear to me that Idaho State Police thought he was suspicious. And they thought that the entire story was suspicious. And what they did at the end of the day, you got something there, Robin?
I was just going to say, do we know when did he actually leave? Because one incentive for him, because didn't you say on your video today that they didn't, like him and his wife, they didn't come right out and say, once they found out that this happened, they didn't come out and say, oh yeah, by the way, Kaylee worked for us.
Right.
No,
and I think
they didn't.
I think that's exactly why Idaho State Police thought it was suspicious. I mean, they're begging the community to say, if you know anything about these people or whatever, to come forward. And here was a coach, a football coach, and his wife who regularly used Kaylee Gonzalez, who was murdered in that case.
Yep.
And they didn't manage to even come forward and say, hey, by the way, we know who that is. But they didn't. And I think that raised to a level of suspicion for Idaho State Police, but not Moscow. And here's the thing. When Idaho pushed Tyler, look, if you didn't see my video, they pushed that coach to provide DNA. They specifically said, we think it's odd that your phone was turned off during the murders, and therefore we want you to provide your cell phone information and your buccal swab DNA. And by the way, Translucent's video said he refused to give them that information. Now, the police report says these words, ultimately, he decided to give them his DNA evidence, which suggests to me by that wording that he did fight them for a while. He didn't want to give them his DNA. He didn't want to give them his cell phone. And all Idaho said was, we turned that DNA evidence over to Moscow Police Department, and they took care of it.
So why? And you got to ask. Then you have to ask. Who was going to talk? I'm sorry.
I'm done.
Okay.
I was just going to say, if he was in interviews at that time with the Eagles, he would want to keep that quiet, downplayed. He wouldn't want that to come out because it could have ruined his chances of being hired.
That's a good point. That's a very good point, actually. Because I was just getting ready to say, why would you not want to turn your DNA over if you wanted to help, if you had nothing to hide? But that's a great point, Robin, because that's a big life decision to screw up by having something like that come out. You know what I mean?
Do we know how Translucent made a big deal about how he left the state after that interview? I don't know how soon he left the state. Go ahead, Logan. What do you got?
No, go ahead. I just say it when you're done.
That's my $1 million question. So at some point, the safeties coach for the Idaho Vandals, defense, which was Tyler Yelk, got promoted and took a job with the Philadelphia Eagles. And then he went after that to Nebraska, I think. But when did that promotion happen and when did he leave Idaho? Because that's, again, we love to leave these comments. Oh, so-and-so was investigated and then they left town. But was that 3 years later? Was that 2 years later? Was it 5 months later? Was it the next month? Like, it does make a difference how quickly he left. And was negotiations already going on with the Philadelphia Eagles? Those are questions I don't have. I didn't have time to look into that yet. Turkey Creek Gal says, say that again. What was she wanting us to say again? I don't know what she wanted us to say. Go ahead, Logan.
I think that the university, whoever's, whether it's Scott Green or somebody that's just as high or whatever, I think that they're involved in some way, shape, or form with all of these people. And I think that we know that the university was losing money and they were worried about it. And then immediately after these murders happened, they got rich as heck, tons of money. Could you imagine if they got a lawsuit on this Yelk dude, or this dude ended up being the dude? Now they'd have everybody suing them and they wouldn't be able to afford that. So somebody's calling shots, I think, at the university.
I just threw something I agree page for you. If you want to pull that up, either one of you guys.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
Excuse me. If this is where he went directly after, it says he was named defensive assistant by the Eagles during the 2025 off season. So that would be the summer of 25, I'm guessing. Overall, he enters his third year as a member of the coaching staff after originally joining in 23. So he must have went like immediately.
Right. And I'm looking it up online. Tyler Yelk was hired by the Philadelphia Eagles in 2023. Now the murders happened at the very end of 2022.
Yeah.
Right. So 2022 is when the murders happened at the end of 2022. By sometime in 2023, the next year, the Philadelphia Eagles had hired him as their assistant head coach. And then he was promoted to head coach of quality control in 24 and promoted again to defensive assistant in 2025. But he started with the Eagles in 2023.
I'm trying to find
it. It takes a while for interviewing those types of positions. So he could have even just been approached. He didn't even have to be in interviews. But if someone had already approached him, he would do anything he could to protect his reputation and to make sure that nothing would get in the way of even being interviewed.
Thank you, Michelle, for the gifted membership. I appreciate you.
And is it crazy to say, or is it crazy to ask, that if the university knew that one of their Vandals assistant coaches was being wooed by the Philadelphia Eagles or applying for the Philadelphia Eagles, that it would look really bad on the university to have that guy be in the midst of a sex scandal? And again, I don't, by the way, is this pure rumor? I need to ask. I'm asking. I'm not making a statement. Translucent in that video stated that Jack Showalter said Kaylee Gonzalez may be pregnant by somebody who works for the university. I have not found it in the police reports. Is it in the police reports that he said that? So, Diego, what do you got?
I remember hearing that. I was going to say something else with this too, but let me say this first and then I'll go back to that. This is the coaches make big money when they work for these pro teams, okay? Now, if this is a life-changing thing, completely life-changing to go work for a pro team as compared to a college team, okay?
Right.
That would, in my opinion, be something that you would want to keep somebody quiet about if something could ruin that, okay? That's a big deal. So now back to, oh my God, where did we hear that at, you guys? Because we talked about that slightly, that there was, first it was a professor, and then I heard it was staff at U of I, which could be a coach.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
So right. And then I mean he's a young guy, or looks young. I don't know his exact age, but I mean I could see something like that happening.
I was having a hard time finding it, but I remember I had a hard time finding it. But I remember specifically it was either Idaho State Police or Moscow Police Department was asking for salary information of people who work at the University of Idaho. And they didn't specifically say, if I remember right, professors versus assistant football coaches, but they're all paid by the University of Idaho. And they were looking for salary information of people who worked for the university. Go ahead, Robin.
And keep in mind too, not only would it benefit him to keep that hidden and the university, but also potential students who are being courted by who? The Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
So not only would that would be even further incentive for the university to keep it, on the down low, because, there's a potential pipeline there, this guy could say, yeah, guess what? I could get you a walk-on at, on our field.
Bingo.
So there's all kinds of reasons that go just beyond what you would just immediately think of as far as why it would be important to them to keep anything regarding that coach that was inappropriate out of the limelight.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm saying, Robin, is I'm saying if he was courted by the Eagles and they knew that, it would look good. It would look good for the University of Idaho to have one of their coaches wooed by an NFL team. Conversely, it would look bad for their thing if one of their coaches was involved in a sex scandal and a murder. So they would be fully incentivized to cover the story up, and it's a double win for them. They look great when one of their coaches was wooed by the Philadelphia Eagles. So yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I tend to think that the reason why that guy didn't want to give DNA at first and was kind of keeping it on the down low aligns with what Robin was saying earlier. Is like, this guy's trying to get a coaching job with a professional team. You professional teams, man, they do not want bad PR. Even if your name is remotely connected to something, that's enough to disqualify you from becoming a coach.
Look, JJ, here's the thing that's funny. I mean, you watched my video, I'm sure, right? You said, I think you watched my video. But here's the thing that's funny. That coach specific, in the documents, it came out. That coach, Tyler, approached, and I'm just going to say it in a creepy way, a pretty young blonde college student about being his babysitter. And she arranged for him to get a different babysitter, which was Kaylee Gonzalez, another pretty blonde babysitter. And he specifically, the coach said, I didn't put her phone number into my phone because of obvious reasons. It would look bad if I'm going and I'm talking to these cute 20-something-year-old females from the college and putting their phone numbers in my phone. So I reached out to her about that, but I didn't put her in my phone number or in my phone. And so I'm just thinking to myself, well, then that means damn well it looks a little sketchy, you having these relationships, and you're trying to keep it out of the public press. So it's I don't know.
I mean, there could have been freaky shit going on. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, we don't know. This town seems shady as fuck to me from everything we've seen. Yeah. So
from what?
Who knows? I mean, God, I don't think I've ever heard of a place or a case with so many threads.
You said it a million times, JJ.
I've never ever heard.
I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. Just like you said, I've never seen anything like this. You said it succinctly the first time we met. If it had been only one thing, we'd be able to say, okay, shit happens. But the number of fuckery in this case is insane. We've never seen anything like it. There are so many good alternative suspects, better than the one they've got in jail. That imagine. I've never seen a case like it.
They're trying to hide all the dirty laundry. That's what they're doing.
And then there was a whole thing with that spreadsheet that was made of all the girls. I've never heard of anything like that.
Even the officers, the Idaho State Police, even referred to it as, tell us about this babysitting operation. Like they're looking at it. I swear. The Idaho State Police is looking at it like a sex ring. Like, tell us how this works. They even said, how do you pay the girls? Oh, we pay them by Venmo. How did they get on your spreadsheet? They're viewing it like a sex operation. They're like, tell us about this operation you're running, this babysitting operation with girls getting paid by Venmo and hooking up, and you get a spreadsheet that pairs girls with college students or college coaches. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, someone was saying in the chat, I know Kaylee was getting like $3,500 a month. I mean,
$3,500 a month. Yeah,
it's an awful lot of money to do babysitting. I'll just say
the allegation was in the report that Kaylee Gonzalez was getting paid $25 an hour by this Texas company at a 40-hour-a-week job as an intern. And I guess she was already drawing that. So she was drawing like $3,500 a month. And that's good money for her college student, right? And by the way, there's all these rumors talking about, well, Kaylee didn't really have that. Her car wasn't that expensive. It's in the documents, people. They thought it was suspicious. How could she afford the car that she could afford, the down payment that she afforded? And they were looking into her finances. Read the documents. Wow. They were looking into her finances left and right. How much money is she making? They wanted to know what professors, what university people were making that were involved. Like, they were looking all over her money, trying to figure out how does Kaylee make that kind of money.
And she had a credit card machine. It's in one of the It's in one of the pictures. And and you could say, oh, well, she's babysitting. I don't know. That's kind of odd. That's kind of an odd thing.
From what
babysitting rate, I'm sorry to interrupt that. I'll get off the camera for a minute. The babysitting rate was $15 an hour, one. So she wasn't making that kind of fucking money on.
No, I'm just saying. I've never heard of someone doing a babysitting operation and using a credit card machine. I mean, I guess it's possible.
It's just
it's a little odd to me.
Weird.
She did
so many weird things, man, and it's like we all have our own sort of spin on different aspects of the case, but we all agree that there's so many weird things with this case. And the more you look into it, the more weird shit comes out.
True.
And it's like, I really tend to think like follow the money is always when big money's involved, a college is a massive moneymaker because it's not only tuition, it's the student loans associated with college. That is billions of dollars for the banking industry. Right. And that goes high up.
Yeah. But I think even your point. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Robin.
Well, I was just going to say this comment here about the car insurance. Land Rovers, I know because that's what I do. I work for insurance. So Land Rovers are hella expensive to insure. You cannot just get liability for them. So she had to have been paying out the nose for insurance. So, I mean, and we're talking a 21-year-old woman, college girl in a college town with a Land Rover. How was she afford? I mean, because that can be depending on the area. Even if it's Idaho, it's still rural, and in that area of the country, insurance is even more expensive sometimes because of all the typically the winter weather. I'm sure you have that in Colorado, JJ. It's
and the
same
wildlife.
Kind of thing.
Wildlife,
yeah, right there's that too. So I mean, she had been paying probably at least, judging by what I know, probably about $1,500 a month.
Yeah, that's an expensive vehicle to insure.
I know we always say, and I agree, follow the money, look at the big picture. But even besides the big picture, I think even following the money at a low level, right? It wasn't there a thing like people getting all kinds of Venmo payments and all kinds of crazy shit going on? So that's important too.
Sure.
Right. And I just read something that said that Tyler Yelk didn't even finish the entire season with Idaho, that they moved like directly before the end of the season.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what Translucent was saying, is like they bailed out after the interview asking about his involvement with Kaylee Gonzalez. They fucking left town. And so the question is, did they leave town before? And by the way, Amanda is amazing. Amanda, while we were talking, pulled up. Let me do a screen share real quick.
The interview, right?
Microdot just put that. I remember hearing that back in the day. Tyler did not go home after the game. His family did. That he went to his office when the lockdown hit, and that's where he was at. Which is
Oh, let's talk about that in a minute.
That's pretty wild.
This is Football Scoop. The Philadelphia Eagles are hiring assistant head coach to the college football program. Talks about Tyler Yelk. He was hired. They announced the hiring by March 29th. So by March, they had announced the hiring of him. And there's negotiations that happened before that. So he was in negotiations fairly early with the Eagles to leave and go to that thing. Now, again, does that mean anything that he left? I mean, everybody's going to take a promotion when they do. But again, there's an incentive for the university to not ruin their reputation of a guy that's getting promoted to the NFL. It makes your college look good, that your college's program is so good that people are wooing your college assistants to go work for their teams. Like it's a feather in your cap, right?
Right.
Internationally.
Thank you, Sausage Biscuits, so very much for the super chat. It says, thank you, Robin. I've been trying to tell people how expensive her car insurance would have been. Thank you. Of course, because one, she's young. Two, it's a Range Rover, for Christ's sake. So it had to have been like through the roof. Agreed, Robin, 100%.
And when you
Robin knows,
somebody said this. I think Robin might have said this. When you are financing a vehicle, you have to get full coverage.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's
absolutely
a lot of money. A Range Rover is not an inexpensive car to insure. Even if you're in a rural state, and again, if you're in an area that has really bad weather, because one of the things in Colorado is hail damage, because they get a lot of hail in Colorado, and wildlife. There's tons of elk and deer in Colorado. So you get a lot of accidents where people hit wildlife. And so that's a big deal. Like, right.
And one of the other reasons that it will be so expensive, the car insurance, is because when you wreck one of those, it takes, I mean, if you're going to fix it, their parts are super expensive.
Yeah.
So you figure comp and collision, okay, that might cover your damages, but in the long run, it's still going to up your policy, so that's why it's so expensive, because their parts, you can't get their parts just anywhere. So that makes it even more expensive. So she had to been cranking in money from somewhere, not just babysitting for
That
$15 an
explains
hour.
that explains the multiple accounts too.
Well,
So,
guys, let me
Yeah.
ask you, what do you guys think, just speculating, what Steve was referring to when he said some
The show,
ugly things might come out, or whatever the wordage was?
Oops, sorry.
That's okay. I just wanted, since we were talking about it.
I want to get back. We'll get back to that, JJ. We'll get back to that. Whatever.
This was a car. Amanda sent this backstage. This was info on the car.
The car that Kaylee had, the Range Rover. Yeah.
Right.
So JJ, ask that question again. I had a comment on what you just said. What did you say?
Well, I was saying, that infamous comment that Steve G said. I forget the exact wordage, like some
ugly things are going to come out.
Ugly things are going to come out. In all of your opinions, what do you think he was referring to? Just based on what you think, your speculation.
All right. I love this question. Let's do it this way. Robin, what do you think? Let's go around the horn. Robin, what do you think Steve Gonzalez could have been, or what's your theory about what Steve Gonzalez meant when he said some ugly things might come out about their whatever? What do you think he was talking about? Any ideas?
After your video today, I'm starting to really wonder if it was about Kaylee and potentially not accusatory, but just speculating. Could it have been about her and this coach?
Yep.
Could it have been about her and where her money was coming from? I mean,
yes.
There's something, and for him to say that, it had to have been something to do with Kaylee. I mean, just maybe not just embarrassing. It had to have been something. It seemed like he had something very specific in mind.
I agree. All right, 1-1. What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah,
what do you think his
I
comment
agree.
is referring to?
I think either with this guy Tyler, or he knew that she was doing some sort of escorting or something.
Yeah,
that's what I believe.
Logan, do you have any ideas? What do you think he might have been referring to?
What interview was it that he said that in?
It was way back in the very early beginning, I think, of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He said it. I remember hearing it.
I'm just curious what the setting was. Like what they were talking about before that or during that.
It would be nice to get the context for when it was said. It's been a long time. It was like in the early stages.
The interview came out after one of the hearings, and it was him and Christy, if I remember correctly. And he said he was kind of irritated about something too. I can't remember exactly what it was. I could probably find it, but he said there's going to be some people drugged through the mud, and there's going to be some really gross stuff that's going to come out. So people are going to have to understand, or something like that.
Yeah, the gross stuff is what I remember him saying. Gross stuff. Yeah.
But it was clearly said in an interview that he did. I can't remember exactly after which hearing, because it was, how they would do hearings and then somebody would interview him. I can't remember if it was News Nation or if it was I think it was News Nation. Ashley Banfield, I think, is who did the interview. So if you guys remember which one it is.
Yeah, I don't remember which one.
So do you have any?
Thank you for the super sticker.
Yeah, thank you. Here for the truth now. Thank you for that. So do you have? I mean, being that you wanted to get the receipts of when it was said, do you have any feelings about it?
He said some gross things are gonna come out. That makes me think like
people are gonna think they're gross, is how he phrased it. Some things are going to come out that people are going to think are gross. There you go. That's what he said.
That people are going to think are gross.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me think of some sort of sugar baby sleeping with people for money, trafficking type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my head goes to.
Yep.
That's exactly what.
So let's go to Dago. Like I just got a phone call interruption in the middle of that. Dago, did I ask you your thoughts of what you think he might have meant on the whole, like something gross is going to come out, or
exactly what Logan just said is about the sugar babies thing or something within that aspect, maybe dating for money or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And JJ, do you have a thought?
I thought like one of two things. That this was just my initial thoughts. That Kaylee was getting around after she broke up with Jack, and maybe sleeping around was one of the things I thought, because of the way it was presented. That was sort of like the first thing. Now, I had already heard about the OnlyFans rumors and things like that. So I did think of that as a possibility. But then, there hasn't been, that I'm aware of, any confirmation about that. But there were other rumors that Kaylee was, she was spreading her wings, getting out and dating and different guys and things like that. So I thought he might have been referring to that.
And to add my thoughts to that as well, let me make sure I'm clear to the audience. I am not trying to shame Kaylee Gonzalez's choices in life. That's not what this is about. But I do remember a lot of people came through on the interviews that Kaylee was the type of person who would meet strangers at a bar and go home with a stranger, kind of thing like that. That was something that people said in the reports. Kaylee, it's not unlike Kaylee to meet some complete stranger at a bar and go home with them, kind of thing. And I think it's not unrealistic to put all these pieces together. They wanted to know about Kaylee's finances. Kaylee's was going home with guys that people didn't even know where the fuck this guy came from. Was she hooking up and making a little extra scratch on the side during college, right? Hooking up with some dates for money. And is that insane to ask the question? I'm not accusing her of that. I'm asking, isn't that what the police were looking into?
Insane.
Isn't that what the police were looking into?
Right. And the thing is too, what people have to remember is, if we're going through this case and we're being thorough, and so when you're doing that, whether it's the police or FBI, whoever it is, you look at victimology. That's what this is. No one's accusing. No one's. At least we're not. We're not being judgmental, but we have to look at the victimology of what was, and what was going on, because it matters. It matters in this case.
It almost makes you wonder if the whole estrangement from her family, having her siblings blocked on her social media accounts, had something to do with that, possibly, because she didn't want them, either she didn't want them to know what was going on, or they did know and they didn't approve of it, and so she just blocked everybody temporarily to not have to deal with that situation per se.
Sure, could be.
And to second what DA was saying, I never took a judgmental stance. You're a college kid.
Right.
You just got out of a relationship with your high school sweetheart, your childhood sweetheart. You're gonna go wild, it's, to me, it's all right. But beyond that, the other things, the potential being involved with a sugar baby type site, or the rumors about OnlyFans, that's a different thing. Number one, you're getting paid for these meetups or for content, and you're being exposed to people that may be nuts. I mean, you're to just forget even those two things. Just being active on social media, young, attractive women, it's a different thing. You have to be careful, because you get some dudes that might get obsessive that see your content online, and people that are unstable can develop these crazy, delusions and fantasies about stuff like that. I grew up with 4 sisters. I can't tell you how many fights I got into, and almost fights, because of creepy dudes, messing with my sisters. Now imagine in the social media age, these young college girls that are active on social media. That right there, in my opinion, is a slippery slope.
Well, yeah.
Logan.
Yeah.
Hold on, Logan.
You guys remember back a while ago when somebody sent money to, I think it was Christy on Venmo, and it was an older pervy dude, and he was talking about something about sugar babies, and that was the only one Christy responded to, and she said, "Hey, how are you doing?" Do you guys remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
It was the only one she responded to.
Yeah, and what does that say to you? What does that say to you? I mean,
why would she respond to that?
Right.
Because he was insinuating money for sex.
Yeah. Right, and she was not negative about the response, right? It was more of a
no, she said, "Hey, how are you?" Like trying to stir up that conversation.
Like they had already spoken before in the past.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. Probably.
And what's horrible to me is this is the fuck. What's horrible to me is we're all being shamed for asking these questions, but these are the same kind of questions law enforcement should have been asking. Like they should have been looking into all of these things. Like and here's the thing. I am convinced to this day, I'm convinced law enforcement was hyper focused on Kaylee Gonzalez. When you look at the reports, a lot of time went into Kaylee in particular. So I don't know how it's shifted in mainstream narrative and whatever, that now I'm an asshole for asking questions about Kaylee when that's what law enforcement's focus was Kaylee.
Why do you think that was? Do you think it was her injuries that a different weapon was used on her? And that's why
I think it's a good question. I think it's a combo. Yes. I think it's a combo. Yes. So yes, I think the injuries to Kaylee were so significant that the first thing they thought was, this is personal, and we know who the target was. It was Kaylee. Yes. So that's why the investigation was focused on, okay, who did Kaylee know? Because this was personal against Kaylee. And so I think it starts with the injuries. Yeah.
And when Steve said very clearly, like he specified that Kaylee and Maddie's injuries do not match. He stressed that specific point when he made that.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling us something, and this is the way he always talks, cryptic or not, whatever you want to call it, but he always says stuff like that. And that statement alone made me wonder if that's exactly why he said that, because she was a target, and I think they looked at her as a target in the beginning. I agree with Lee on that. They spent a lot of time in her bedroom and all those photographs. Okay.
Yes. And we pointed that out before. Right. Why is it there's an obscene amount of photos of Kaylee's bedroom when the crime didn't happen in Kaylee's bedroom? But they took a fuck ton of photos of Kaylee's bedroom because they knew Kaylee. What?
Oh, she had to leave.
Oh no, but another thing too, and I brought this up before, and I don't like talking about it, but this is a gruesome crime, and it's dark, but the whole issue of potentially a sexual assault, that would imply that somebody was targeted, specifically, because that is a very specific type of crime.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been lied to about so many other things. So I've thought for a long time that would be something they would definitely want to lie about.
Sure.
The school would not want that information to get out, because that adds another social component that is very, very, sort of incendiary, and that would really make the PR and of the whole situation for the school and the whole local situation there. So that could be another reason why there would be, specific attention to one person if in fact something like that happened. Again, I'm just speculating.
Well,
and sorry, and real quick, Amanda pointed this out, and I just want to make sure I'm clear. I clarify my position. If they took 300 photos of Kaylee's room and 600 of Xana's, the only part I'm clarifying is Kaylee's room wasn't a murder scene.
Right.
Xana's room was.
Yes.
So I would expect 600 photos of Xana's room. What I wouldn't expect
taken any photos
is 300 photos of Kaylee's room. That's my point.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point, because there was nothing that happened within Kaylee's room for them to have to take crime scene photos, because that wasn't, it was part of the scene, but not an active part of the scene. I wanted to throw in there, I can't ever for the life of me ever remember the company that Kaylee was going to go work for in Texas. It always misses me.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
But there was a video of other girls from this area talking about this same job, okay, that they were working for, and it was under the I can't think of how to present this, but it wasn't Network Solutions, SE. Extreme Networks. Thank you, Amanda.
Extreme Networks, yeah.
So it was under the like a pest control type, like that, like
Eco Shield.
Eco Shield. That's it, Robin.
Eco Shield.
There you go. So it was under a pest control label, but then they were going off to like Cancun and doing all these different like vacations, and you see all these photographs of these like girls in bikinis.
Bubbly has excellent videos about all of that with Eco Shield.
And there's a video of a girl walking and talking about Eco Shield and and somebody was asking questions about something, and she was like, "No, it's not shameful. I have no shame in this," and blah 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 blah, so on and so forth. We make great money, and you should check it out and all this. I was like, "Whoa, okay." So that was what it was Eco Shield, and there was multiple people going to work for this company, and I can't remember the guy that ran it. We looked into this whole thing. I think his first name was Tyler. It wasn't Tyler Yelp, but it was something else. But yeah, it had nothing to do with like pest control. The people that were working for them were not doing like pest control. It was crazy. So it was a whole.
Do you think it was a front company?
It sounds
that's
like
what I think. Yeah,
talked about it. Yes, absolutely.
God damn.
Nobody can figure out exactly what they do.
But the way they were talking was like they were doing escort service and stuff like that. Like, there's no shame in this. I'm not ashamed and blah, blah, blah. She was saying, and she was a very pretty blonde girl. They would travel to different places and do this and do that. And there were guys involved in this too. And they were all, and I hate to say this, okay, but they were all like very attractive males and females.
Yes.
They were dressed very, very well, blah, 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 so on and so forth in every one of their photographs. So it made me wonder. It sounds just like a front company, JJ. Truly and honestly, it does, because
it's so crazy how common that is.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. Absolutely. And it was a young guy that had started it, and God damn, I just remembered that, and it makes me wonder now. In Bethany's interview, if you guys remember, she said that whether it's true or not, she said that Kaylee may have changed her mind about going to Texas.
Yeah, dude, it's this. God damn it! I hate to keep saying the same shit. This fucking case, man.
You did. Wasn't there? There was an interview. Someone said something that Kaylee had some kind of incident or something when she was some kind of traumatic like event. I remember hearing that, but they didn't. It wasn't like explained what it was.
It was a friend saying that she would talk about her childhood trauma, but like she would be
jokingly. Yeah.
Do you remember the rumors about her family playing weird things on her, pranks on her that would?
Yes.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Like he would jump, like Steve would scare the hell out of him, and it scared the living hell out of them, and it was just a joke or something.
Right.
And he's always talking about pranks and stuff. They talk about pranks a lot through this whole case. It's weird.
Yeah. Thank you for the gift, Mama J.
Extreme Networks offers cloud net. Thank you, Mama J.
Can you guys fill me in on a bunch of people? Amanda had mentioned it. Dago had mentioned it. I think other people on the panel had mentioned it. Some of the shady stuff that the G family might have been involved in.
What was Logan? Logan, you did a show on it, didn't you? The company that the G started up with that shady chick from wherever she was.
Yeah, Marsha Siha.
That's it. What was that company?
Correct.
What was that company based out of? It was like, was it a computer thing or
Harold's Escorting?
There you
go. That
go.
one.
I think that was the name of it. Yes. That is that what you're talking about, JJ?
Yeah, I mean, I heard and I've seen people post about it, like that they were involved. I know Amanda B recently posted about it, that they were involved in some shady stuff, and I wasn't sure what specifically she was referring to, just because I've heard so many different things.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
Amanda B can let me know about that, because that stuff has come up so much. And then
Amanda's been sending me stuff on the side too about those companies.
Okay,
that she was involved
I
with.
think I remember, Amanda, you mentioned that. I apologize, I forgot. But like that, then you combine that with Xana's mom, and then was it Maddie's father or stepfather that had like a drug bust?
Stepfather, I thought.
Stepfather.
I mean, that's a lot of stuff.
No, it's her dad.
Yeah. Ben Mobley is her dad.
Ben Mobley.
That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff, man. That like can contribute to other things, and it's just that's why I always say it, and it bugs me out. Like this case has so many threads. I've never seen a case ever that has so many threads.
And you know what? And here's the thing. I have to ask myself, I don't think it's the answer, but I have to think, is the reason why this case has so many threads is because of the ridiculous gag order that got put in place that didn't have to be there. The fact that they kept everybody in the dark about every fucking thing leads to people having to do their own detective work, which leads to conspiracies.
Yeah, definitely right. Yeah.
Shit. And if they had just been fucking transparent from the beginning, we wouldn't be in this mess.
100%. And they don't, you know, there's no follow. There's lots of follow-up interviews that should have been done that weren't done.
Yeah. It's just insane how much they drop the ball or just sweep everything under the rug.
And if they had been transparent from the beginning, they could have maybe addressed some of these things early on. But I think the reason they weren't transparent from the beginning is because they do have something to hide. That's why it wasn't transparent from the beginning.
I mean, they were sleeping. That was the first.
Yeah, they were all asleep and nobody saw it coming.
Yeah. Like right out of the gate, like fucking 2 days or 3 days later, they were all asleep. Like, how could you put out, don't say anything if you don't know the information, right? Instead of feeding shit to the public, they lied about so many things. And it's
in the beginning, but even the first thing they said is a contradiction. Like they're all asleep, then how does she hear Kaylee going up the stairs or crying? Like it can't be both. You're either awake and you hear or you don't hear. Like it can't.
and I hate to beat the fuck out of this. I hate it. But how do you hear somebody in a soft voice saying, "It's okay, I'm here to help you," but you don't hear Xana screaming as she's fighting back and having fingers cut off and fucking shit and fighting back for her life? That place is a fucking bloodbath. She hears none of that right next door to her. But I heard somebody say, "It's okay, I'm here to help you." Really? Like, what part of that makes any fucking sense to any logical human being? Like,
but the worst lie of all is that the victims were all asleep.
Yeah.
Did Xana's room look like she was
didn't
asleep?
Look like anybody was asleep there.
I mean, it's fucking insane. Like
it is.
I know. This is a bigger problem. The law enforcement in these towns, or probably in all over the fucking place, they just lie to the public, and it's like it's broken.
Yeah, and then you got the magistrates and the judges. Don't they watch the freaking, like, in their town? This happened in their town, and they don't watch the new, like the press release. I think you should have to, so that you can catch the fuckery, so that when the cops come to you for a warrant, you can be like, "That's not what I heard on the news." I mean, it just, they're not doing their due diligence either, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, if they're not going to allow experts to testify, I mean.
Exactly.
I mean, where what are you going to
All right, so we've talked for an hour and 50 minutes. Is there anything to talk about in any of the other cases? I do have something to talk about in Letcher County. We should probably talk about that a little bit. I know that we've been talking a lot about the Guthrie case as well, but I don't think there's anything new, right? Guthrie is still no proof of life and still missing. Right.
Still missing.
No.
So there's your update
Stagnated.
there. And the Letcher County thing, I will tell you this, again, from what I understand, Sabrina Atkins is going to, on Tuesday, have a preliminary hearing prior to the actual federal hearing against Ben Steins for the civil case. It's possible they will settle, right? So there's a big lawsuit filed on behalf of Sabrina Atkins against various entities like the Department of Corrections and the Sheriff's Department and so on, I won't be surprised in a high-profile case like this that they will pressure to settle with her for an amount that'll make her happy and be life-changing money for her, but will then take it out of the public eye so that no deeper questions can be revealed. If she doesn't take that deal on Tuesday, I'm going to go out for the trial, or at least attempt to go out for the trial. So, and I will say this, without giving too much away, I'm getting more and more phone calls and text messages by the day from girls involved in the corruption of Letcher County. Everyone over there is starting to reach out to me because I'm one of the few channels, like Jody from the Defense Rest, who is listening to this and actually reporting on it, unlike mainstream media that wants to just kind of like only be interested in certain parts of it. And so I'm getting more and more people reaching out that want to tell their stories. Unfortunately, I have a lot of girls reaching out to me saying, can you help me find a lawyer? I can't help you find a lawyer, although don't stop reaching out, because we're trying to work on what we can, and we are trying to bring national attention to this. So I don't know where that goes with that, but it's difficult for me because I want to help these people and these victims in this county. I do believe their stories, that county is a mess, and there's a lot of corruption all the way up through every police department there. There's corruptions and fuckery. But anyways, for what it's worth, that's where the update is on that. We're waiting. The big news we're waiting for is whether or not a settlement's going to be reached on Tuesday. And I want to kind of ask you guys as a panel, how do you feel about the idea that victims of the case are essentially potentially going to get silenced by taking a small payout? Let me just give you imaginary numbers. Let's say you've got a $2 million lawsuit against a sheriff's department for corruption and whatever, and they offer that person a fraction of it, $250,000, to silence them and say, hey, take your payoff. And let's say that you're an indigent person. You have no real job. You have no real income. You're poor. You live in a poor community. $250,000 might be life-changing money for you. So the question is, what do you do when for the big fish, paying somebody $250,000 because it's life-changing money for them and will change their life, and they'll just shut up and go the fuck away, saves you millions of dollars in a lawsuit? What do you feel about that? And then to add the thing, what about the person who rumored was to tell one of the women, you will live to see a payout announced, but you'll never live to spend it?
Right.
So what do you guys think?
Everybody else go for it.
It's despicable. It's despicable, but trying to put myself in their shoes, I would be like extremely insulted with that low amount, but self-preservation would kick in, because if I had the ability and that money could get me out of there, I would try to keep myself safe and take the money and freaking run. I mean, because if you stay and you try to keep fighting for, you know, the full amount you're suing for, I mean, you can't win if you're dead. You know,
exactly. Right.
So
I agree.
To me, like 250,000 for me will be life changing. You know, so I know there's principle, but there's also self-preservation. But it's despicable. The whole thing is just that whole place is despicable.
It is.
Well said, Robin.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's and you're right. It is life-changing money, especially for somebody who doesn't have money. But what I've tried to, and I'm out of my league here, right? But what I've tried to advise the girls that are coming forward is, I would totally understand you taking a settlement of $250,000 or whatever in exchange for just getting life-changing money for you, right? But I would hope
but they got to get out of there though.
No, I would hope don't sign a fucking deal with that plea money that says I'm not allowed to ever tell my story. Like, you need to still tell your story.
Well, they would demand that you sign.
I know.
And
that's just it. JJ is going to come with strings. It's going to be, I'm going to pay you big money,
Of
but
course.
you're going to need to fucking you need to shut your fucking mouth about this and never write a book, never do a documentary, never talk about your story. This is hush money. That's the definition of hush money. I'm going to pay you off. You're going to shut your mouth about it.
I think it's a really That is the classic like question, right? That's the dilemma. It's like, it's easy to be ethical and moral when you don't need money and you're fine, right? It's easy to be I grew up poor. I come from a family of 8 kids. I'm a working stiff. If I was presented with that opportunity, it would be a dilemma. It would be a major dilemma, because if you take it, you got to bail. If you turn it down, you got to bail, because your life could be in danger, right? So I think that's a lot. Like regular people working, you'd have to move. There's a lot of logistics involved in this stuff, right? If you don't have money for great lawyers.
But here's the other sad part, JJ. This is the other sad part. I don't know the exact numbers, so I'm ballparking it. But that attorney who's defending Sabrina Atkins, for example, they're going to have a bill for her that is contingent upon her victory. That bill may range in the $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 range for defending her. So she gets a $250,000 payout. $200,000 of her $250,000 payout goes to the lawyer's fees, and she gets $50,000. It's not life-changing money at that point, then, because a lot of that money will just go to the lawyer for winning the settlement and paying off her debt and so and I don't know that they fully explain that to the people who are taking those settlements. Hey, by the way, you're winning a $250,000 settlement, but we're going to take $200,000 out of it for the fees that you owe us and our percentage for winning that victory for you, and you'll get $50,000. So have a nice day. And they're like, I thought I just changed my life. You just fucking gave me a year's income.
Yeah. Well, now here's another thing. Now, I wouldn't normally say this, and this is not legal advice. But if you did take that money and you got out of there, even if you did sign an NDA, people break NDAs all the time. And if you don't have any money, they're not coming after you. No lawyer is going to come across the country after you, suing you if you have no money. They're not going to do it. So, and if you're telling your story and you're not getting any money for it, like you're just doing it to get it out there, people do it all the time. And by the way,
I have it on good authority that some of the girls in this county have already done interviews with Court TV, a Netflix documentary, and other entities. Brian Enton has been out there. So, and where are those interviews? Those interviews haven't surfaced yet, which means that it sounds like they're waiting to see what the outcome of this is, to see if they're going to get a big payday on releasing those documentaries after something big happens. So it feels a little predatory on their parts as well. They've got all these interviews in the can that I know about that they're waiting to see what's going to be the result of Sabrina's lawsuit against Ben Fields. And when do we come out with that big documentary that blows the lid off of our shit? And they're deciding on that, when is the right time to release that, or if not,
And the big thing is if they do all, which here's the thing, folks, they live in a very poor area. Okay. It's horrible. It's very poor.
Population.
Most of them are. Okay. Because they were never allowed to become any more than what they are. That was the whole point in the whole process. So most of them, it would be very hard for them not to take the money to be able to live a better life. So in turn, if you take this money, the truth doesn't not get exposed per se, and it never changes. It just keeps going on, and that's the direction it would go, in my opinion. So it's not going to be a good thing either way. And not to mention it, like you were talking about the NDAs and all that kind of stuff, so on and so forth. Right. So I see it going in a bad direction, in my opinion. I hate to say that. I just don't want to see it end that way, but that's the way I see it going.
And I know we're a little late. We usually wrap up by this time. Defense rests
Friday.
It is Friday. So Defense Rest from Australia is clearly in our chat, and she's in connection with a lot of these girls. So again, Robin, if you want to send that link out and send it to Jody email or whatever, which way you got to do. If Jody, if you want to come on and give us an update, this would be a great, I mean, I see that you're in the chat. Again, Defense Rest is the one that really got us in touch with all these girls. And so I'm getting a lot of phone calls from these girls as well. I've been in touch with Sabrina Atkins' lawyer. I've been in touch with Sabrina Atkins herself. And I'm ready to go to sit in the courtroom during her trial. So I'm starting to get more and more connected to this case. And I feel like, first of all, this case is going to be monumental if they don't shut it down with hush money. So, and it sounds to me like the girls don't want it to be shut down with hush money, despite the fact that it might be life-changing money for them. They're like, fuck it, it's the principle. Like somebody needs to stop this bullshit. So we'll see. But
I emailed the link over to you, Jody. You should have it.
You know, last night I was like, before I went to sleep, I was scrolling movies on like Amazon or whatever. And that movie, Indecent Proposal, popped up.
Yes.
Remember that movie?
Yes, that's
Demi
Michael
Moore
Douglas.
and Woody
Demi
Harrelson.
Moore, yeah, Demi Moore,
Robert Redford,
yeah,
right?
that's right.
And it's just, it's kind of interesting just because it was $1 million, right? In today's world,
for one night,
if someone was offered $1 million for that, that would be like a tenth of what it would have been, you know, I mean, like relative to the economies of scale or whatever,
right?
Today's money. But that's a dilemma, right? It's a major dilemma. People need money.
Right.
Oh, this could change your life, right? But after the fact, there is the moral dilemma that you face.
Yeah.
And it's the age-old question, right? It's like, is money, can you buy your integrity? And and it's a tough one, man, because like I said, I grew up working class. I am a working class guy now. So like if somebody offered me 250 grand, let's just say for argument's sake, to keep quiet about something that I knew that was really important, that would be a major dilemma. And I would wrestle with it. I could say right now, oh, I'd never take it. I would stand firm, but reality is reality. And like Robin was saying, it's like everybody's got a different situation and that could change their life, or they could think that it would change their life.
Yes, that's the thing. A lot of people think it's going to change their life, and they don't realize, again, my $250,000 settlement's going to go 75% or 80% of it to the lawyer, and I'm not really going to get left with nothing. But I thought it sounded like a big number when they told me, but they didn't really point out to me that they're going to take most of my money, and I got left dick. Jody, by the way, with Defense Rest is backstage. I want to say one more thing about this, and this is my moral dilemma, JJ, and this is the hard part that I have, is how do I say this? These women in this county have been abused for a very long time by a systemic predatory system, and they deserve money, but they deserve justice more, even more, right? So they deserve a payout, but they deserve justice. And it's hard for me because I want to, at some level, write their story and make a documentary and expose the whole corrupt motherfucking system and send people to jail. But I don't.
I can help.
But that's not going to make me rich, right? That's not going to make me rich. And I feel like I want to make sure that these women, these victims in here, understand that I don't know. Like if they think that telling their story to me is going to make them rich, I don't even know how to fucking make money. I'm not even doing this for the money. I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. But that doesn't mean that I have any problem with them wanting to do the right thing and also get paid for their fucking their corruption that happened to them. So it's a tough thing because I want to help all these victims, but I got to make sure that I can help them in a way that without any promises that, hey, look, I'm not going to make you rich selling your story. I don't know how to fucking. All I'm trying to do is get people fucking put in jail that should be in jail. And that's my goal. All right, let's bring Jody up on stage real quick and talk to her about any updates that she might have. Jody, are you there? Hopefully you don't have a massive delay tonight.
Hello.
Hey.
Good evening, y'all.
Good evening.
Hi, Jody.
Hello, Joe. How you going? I agree, Lee. I am very I think the lure of 200,000 may be like the carrot that these women think is the golden egg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But that's purely because of their perception is so warped as to what is good and what isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think Sabrina's fought this for 5 years, and she's watched co-defendants, you know, die under suspicious circumstances. I don't think she'll settle for that, to be honest. I don't. But, you know, you never know. But I will be making sure that they are educated in their rights and the potential outcomes, and she can make her own informed decision. And so,
do you think it would be hard for them to pass it up, Jody, like a financial settlement? Or see, I do too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, it's so depressed down there and such a poor area, and they've never, like she said, guys, like their whole lives they've been held down, depressed, and it's so horribly poor. I've seen it, you know what I mean? And it's,
to me, it's like almost a cop out, and it's a cop out on the entire situation. Now that it doesn't change anything, and I think the community as a whole, that's where they want to go now. So I'm hoping that things get exposed. So
I think we all
and here's here's the difficulty, and I need to be super careful of how I say this. So, for example, in the Ben Fields trial, Sabrina Atkins in his federal trial, they tried to point out the idea that Sabrina was flirting with him, that she wanted this, right? And they showed text messages, and you know, they even showed like a picture of her in her bra seducing him and saying, "Hey, I want to have sex with you before I go back to jail." And they used that against her as a look. This is just a slut trying to get money kind of thing, right?
They can do all that.
The problem is that you need to understand these people are trapped in a system where they have to resort to that kind of shit because it's the only thing they've got. It's the only fucking weapon. So it sucks because they will try to shame these women as a bunch of sluts just out to make money. They're just they're low lives. Just another. I'm going to say it the way they say it. Another whore trying to make money. You know,
I have groomed them.
But
they groomed them all to be that way, though.
They groomed them that way, right?
Yeah.
They're also like one of them is even of the belief that you know, oh look, Jen encouraged it. Do you know what I mean? She was enjoying it, and they don't actually understand the definition of rape and the definition of consent and the laws that are in place. There is legislation in Kentucky that, you know, for positions in power, that there is legal repercussions for that. So that's what I'll be educating them about.
As there should be, yes.
Yes. So one of them even thinks that, you know, they were just having sex, they were having fun doing drugs. No, it's the implication of the repercussions and the abuse of the power that the law will protect them at the end of the day. They have to.
Well, and that's what needs to be seen, I think, Jody, is that it needs to be gone back and looked at that all these women were groomed over however many period of years 100%. To be this way, to only be this way, and to stay under the thumb of the government, the local government.
Yep.
That's what needs to be brought out. And that's where the accountability, in my opinion, needs to be had right there.
They actually encourage them to be early emancipated from their parents. And so they force them to have their GED done by 14, 15. They put them on fertility drugs, all sorts of stuff. And they're often married off by 14, 15 and pregnant, you know.
And they feed them the drugs at a young age too to get them to stay that way. Right.
Yep.
God, it's so disgusting to even hear it. Think about it.
It's abhorrent. It's really,
Yep.
Wow.
And it's difficult because, and I feel like we need to hear from our females on the panel in particular because of this issue. But it's difficult because they will point to text messages and whatever of the victims seducing men as examples of, well, see, look, they were asking for it. But again, a court already decided in Ben Fields' thing, when you wear a uniform and you literally can put this woman in jail if she doesn't comply with your sexual advances, then she's she has to flirt with you and make you believe that you're the man, because that's the way she stays out of jail. That's the way she works herself a deal. But they'll try to slut shame her on that behavior as it somehow, well, look at she's seducing him. It's, you know, anyways, I want to hear from our females on this panel as well. Yeah.
To think that the best option in this scenario is to have oral sex with someone like Ben Fields. Okay, the option's got to be pretty bad.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Robin? I mean, how do we? So I want to hear your perspective as a female. We're a bunch of men trying to talk about how women are abused by the system or whatever, and we're trying to like fix it, but kind of thing. But maybe men aren't the ones to be fighting this fight. Like, what's your female perspective?
As someone who has had her own brush with this kind of thing, nothing to what these poor women are going through, have been going through, and will continue to go through until this is dealt with. What I can tell you is that these people are very good at manipulating. And there is the double standard. We're considered, women are considered a slut, a whore, whatever you want to call us. But who's doing this? Who's in control? And I'm not trying to be sexist, so please don't take it that way. But it's the truth. And it starts to teach. We have to teach our young people. This is not how you do it. This is not acceptable. It has to start when they're little. And there's a way to do it from the time age appropriate and up. This is not acceptable. This is not what you, and that's where it's, but in the meantime, we have to tell the stories. And if you want to put together something, Lee, I know how to write scripts. I know how to do all that. So if there's ever a time, I will help do it. So
thanks, Robert.
Yeah, and guys have to stand beside women as allies.
Yeah.
And you guys on this panel are all allies. Do not sell yourselves short.
No.
You might be guys talking about this issue, but I know the character of each and every one of the guys on this panel, and I know damn sure where your heart lies, and I know that
you are so beautiful.
You guys are good men, and that's what us women need. We need men like you to stand beside us and help us. So it means the world to me, and I know a lot of people out there that you guys are doing this. So thank you.
You're beautiful, Robert.
And I appreciate that. And part of me tries to feel like, a woman should champion this because maybe coming from a man is not the best case, but yeah, we're as sickened by the abuse as anybody. And I understand how the system works. I feel, Logan, did you have any insights as a female into any of this story at all, or?
In Kentucky?
Yeah.
I don't really know the case. I just know the beginning of it. So that's really all I know. I do know that if you are a female and men in power are putting you in a corner, whether it's for sexual reasons or maybe you have a lingering charge and they're like, saying, hey, if you do this with me, your charge will go away. Some of these women are single mothers. Some of the, they don't have much. Right. So you bet your ass you're going to do probably what's asked of you. And that's what's sad. But they don't want to do it. It's not like they are willing and want to. They're doing it because they don't have really a choice. They're backed in a corner. And that's
the women that I'm speaking to now, I'm finding out more and more of the backstory that, you listen to them and they say, oh, look, my boyfriend's really, really good to me. He might beat me up once a week, but he's got a roof over my head. Do you know what I mean? That's the mentality that they think is a good thing. And that's their whole self-respect and self-esteem has been completely wiped away from their lifestyle, their life of being groomed and being
They've never been able to have it ever, Jody.
Exactly.
They've never been allowed to have that, and it's sickening to me.
I see, Robin. You're writing down that name, T. Clay from Louisville? Yeah.
Yep.
No, the only thing I was gonna say, Lee, when I went to say, I wasn't trying to cut in front of Logan, because that definitely needs to be heard. Were you done, Logan, with what you were saying, or okay? With what Robin just said, I want to add to that real quick. There's so much of and it's a great thing, of the independent women out there that stand for themselves, that do for themselves, that don't need a man to support them or any of that. That's a fact. But because of that, I have noticed that a lot of men have, and I'm not saying anybody that we know, but I've seen physically, like visually, men that have become lazy because of that. Because, and stepped back and said, well, she don't need me. I ain't gonna do that. No, that's not the answer to that. Okay. The point that I'm trying to make, though, is we all should still stand by anybody that goes through this. Okay. Period.
Yep.
Whether they're independent, non-independent, or whatever, we should all stand by that and point to the fact that this is the absolute most disgusting thing that could exist in a reality for anybody. Okay. This is not what life is supposed to be for anyone. So that's all I was going to say to that.
And, I hearing everybody talk and hearing Robin talk about this situation, I'm lucky. I grew up with people that would have protected me. I have 4 sisters. I grew up with 4 sisters and 3 brothers, but not everybody has that.
No.
They don't all have people to protect them.
No.
And I'm not saying, just be clear, I'm not saying, all women need a man to protect them. That's not what I'm saying. But in certain situations, if you have a tribe around you, you're less vulnerable. And a lot of people don't have that, and I am lucky that I have that. And my sisters were lucky they had it. And so a lot of these people don't have people that will fight for them to prevent this type of thing from happening. And so, you know what I mean? It's just
because
like
the people they have to go to, JJ, are the ones that are grooming them to be in this position to begin with.
Right. Well, that's the point.
That's the big problem.
Not supposed to be the ones preying on vulnerable people.
Right.
No.
We're actually trying to create a community of them and to support themselves. That's part of one of the resources that we're putting together at the moment, so that the victims can support one another.
Yeah, and you need a community. Everybody needs people. That's the old days, you came from a community, at least where I came from. Man, if you mess with somebody in that community, it's not going to be good.
Exactly.
People, I was scared of the things that my older brothers would do to people if they mess with my sisters. Like literally scared. Like I don't even want to say the things my older brothers would do if somebody tried to mess with one of my sisters. But not everybody has that.
No.
And it sucks.
Well,
it fucking sucks that's the way it is.
Keep in mind, your sisters are very lucky to have had you, JJ. But there are circumstances like mine that if I would have mentioned at 12 years of age who this person was, it would have torn my whole family apart.
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot.
So there's that aspect of that as well.
Well,
so it's just hard.
Yeah.
It happens.
Lee, you're muted. Lee, you're muted.
Sorry. I'm back. I want to reiterate, Jody from the Defense Rest has an insane amount of organizational skills. She's been putting together a ton of stuff for these ladies. And so I don't know where it's going to go in the end. I feel like the trial upcoming and the civil trial for Ben Fields is not going to be the end of the story. And Jody's got a good start on documenting things where they go. Here's the problem. Somebody everywhere along the line, somebody's going to want to try to pay off these girls for their story kind of thing. I guess where I'm going with it, and I'm not trying to make an appeal here, but like I'm literally trying to do this because I believe in the mission, not in the money. But I understand. I don't blame the victims for wanting a payday for what happened to them. So it's a double thing. Like I would want to tell their story, but there's a part of me that feels like at the end of the day, all these girls are going to take a settlement for somebody that's going to pay them big money. I can't pay money. I want to do it for the story. I want to tell the story and get this out. Yeah. But at some point, somebody's going to come along and offer them money, and they're going to take the money deal, and I can't even blame them for that. So we'll do the best we can to fight for justice and truth and exposing the bullshit in Kentucky. But I'm not going to be surprised if somebody starts paying off these girls to shut them up.
She's done the hard yards. She's gotten the guilty. You know, he's pled guilty in the criminal trial. So
yeah.
Stacked to I don't know. I think the odds are greater for her.
Jody, I wanted to tell you, the live that you had the other day.
Oh,
the 4 hours, the 4.5 hours.
Yeah,
I was in there the whole time, and
I saw you.
So besides the horrendous travesties and all the disgusting stuff that was done, what even was striking to me was even the people who, I should say, even the men that these girls think are good, even the good guys, even them, they're not good.
No.
Trying to impregnate girls at 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
There's a systemic problem. And I mean, when I say we should get a flamethrower and burn this town down, I'm not even lying.
I'm with it.
I
swear to
God.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
I gotta say too, Jody, it's commendable. You're in another country, for Christ's sakes, and you're
I know.
You're standing up to support.
It's incredible.
It's amazing, and I absolutely adore you for that. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Don't have to. I'm not doing it for the accolades. It's something that's very important to me personally.
Yeah.
Morality,
and
right there.
Experiences in it, and I believe in it, and that's as simple as that. But thank you.
Yeah. And I agree, and I want to reiterate that for Jody, the defense rest, is she's not in it for some game or to make money or whatever. She's doing it because she believes in the story and she believes in helping these people, and she's reaching out to everybody she can to help out. And I'm doing my best to help, but I don't want to oversell my ability. Like I'm a mid-sized best, right? So I'm doing the best I can help.
You're doing amazingly. I think everybody that's trying to help is doing the best.
Absolutely,
they're all doing amazing. Even just thinking about wanting to help is amazing. So
I think they've got you on a nice little pedestal there, Lee. So
I'm trying to help the girls. I really am. I'm trying to help them. It's
a horrible story. Like
it is.
Anybody that hears this, if you don't have compassion for this, then you don't even need to be breathing oxygen. I'm sorry, because it's so. First off, it's such an unbelievable thing that we live daily with these people walking around with us. You know what I mean? That do these things.
Actually, I tell you. Ty, the other day, 2 days ago, like when we went and had that big live, the next day she had a police cruiser all day. Going past all day, and I've got the video of it, backwards and forwards. And she lives in the middle of nowhere, and police presence right.
I just don't understand how these people sleep at night. You know what I mean?
I know.
I want to say two things about that. First, by the way, Peter Sky Parker, somebody needs to fucking help that guy out. I hope he hasn't done all of the donations. Somebody else needs to help that guy out.
He pretty much has. Thank you, Peter.
You need to stop. 3 people need to fucking punch in and help out with that.
Oh my goodness!
Didn't you already hit 1 goal?
8 of 10.
But
what?
Didn't you already hit the first goal?
We've hit the goal now, I think. I don't know. There's a minute left.
Good job, you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But anyways, I've been getting videos. So first of all, let me tell you this for those people who don't understand. I was there, and I won't even name the town. I was there in the town that one of these girls are at, and I've been to their town. I was at their house. I know what it looks like. I was there. I'm trying to explain to you. I was there and I saw her house and I saw her street. when she sent me videos of the cops driving by her place, I will fucking that is her place. I've been to that place. I recognize that place. And I see cops driving by her place. And I will tell you this. I told one this. Like, I don't know what the cops are doing there. I can't verify the cops are harassing her. I don't know what they're there for. But I can tell you this. There's not a lot of fucking reason for them to be there, and they just keep driving by her place. And I've been there, and I can recognize the place. And I'm like, holy shit! Like, why are they fucking driving by your place? Like, it's a bother. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Oh yeah, but I'd have asked her to record every one of them just for future, because it could be something that we can use later down the track for harassment purposes or something.
And look, they're going to argue. You can't prove shit like that. That you know, like you're looking insane by saying they're harassing you by driving by your house a few times, right? Like, you're nuts. Like, we were just patrolling the area. You're just paranoid. But they know damn well it's sending a message to you when they see you out when they see them driving by your place.
If you've got a videotape of them driving past your house like 20 times in the day, on an odd day that's got nothing, no reports have come in.
Yeah,
it might be something small, but I think it's important in the context.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not going to hurt.
No.
In fact, I asked her to put a CCTV footage, like a motion censored camera, up just so that she doesn't miss any.
Yeah, like my wife said, her house is pretty remote. Exactly. I will tell you this, like to get to her house specifically, it's a fucking tiny road with no room to turn around on. And so I know her area. In fact, I'm terrified for her because I'm like, you're in the fucking middle of nowhere. If they want to take you out, they're just going to take you out. Like, there's nowhere to fucking go. Right. Yeah. It's a scary place to be. I was nervous being there visiting her. You know, I'm nervous visiting her.
Look, she could get something in the mail, and like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and I get where she's at. She's at the point, she's at the point where she's like, "Fuck it, they've already taken everything from me anyway, so I'm just going to stay." They
literally have, and they know that their children, because of the lifestyle that they're in, because of their socioeconomic status, their children are their world, and they know that. Of course. So that is their biggest power. That's what they threaten to take off them. And it's cruel and
And I think that's why Taya is doing things the way she's doing things, because like you just said, what do I have to lose? Like,
that's right.
They're taking everything from me at this point.
She's trying to turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, which is very commendable. Yes.
Oh yeah. That's why I got involved.
All right. Well,
amazing.
Do you have anything else to share? We should probably wrap. We don't have to wrap up.
No.
Let's kind of wrap up. Do you have anything else you want to share on behalf of the girls or the victims or the story of Letcher County before you?
No, I've sort of had a couple of days breathe. It's been a very emotionally charged week. So I had a couple of days downtime. But I'm trying to find them legal representation.
And I will say at least one of the girls have reached out to me recently asking if I can help them find a lawyer, and unfortunately I don't have a direct way to help them find a lawyer, but I would like you. I know you talk to them more than I talk to them, so at least pass on to me or pass on to them that I am listening to their case. I am working on their case. I'm dedicated to the case. I just if they, I'm almost afraid sometimes when the girls like they tune into my live and they see me talking for 2 hours about Idaho Ford, they're like, has he forgotten about our case? I have not forgotten about the fucking case. I have not forgotten about their case. So
and we're all here supporting this. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. You're all amazing.
All right, Jody, thanks for coming on. We had a really good connection tonight. No delay, and it was great. So I'm glad we had a nice, good connection. Great to hear from you. I would love to have you on a regular basis. Come on and give us updates on this case, because again, it's I don't necessarily talk about it all night long because it's not one of the heavy hitters for the station right now. But I'm trying to bring attention to this case, and I will work the fucking case whether or not people are interested in it or not. That's one of the things that I would like to say I'm one of the good guys. I would like to say that I'm doing this for the right reasons. I'm one of the good guys. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm continue to fight this fight. So, All right. Thank you, Jody, for coming on. And
No
we're going to
worries.
say our
Thanks
good
for having
nights
me.
and
Bye,
wrap
guys.
up.
Take
Have a
care.
great night, Jody. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Night.
All right. Let's go around the horn. We'll go Robin, 1-1, Logan, Dago, JJ, and then myself. So we'll go around that rotate. I kind of change it up from time to time, I think. So, Robin, let's say our good evenings. What do you got for the evening for close?
Well, thank you as always for coming out, everyone. And whether you watch us live or you're on the replay crew, we appreciate you so very, very much. Much love to all of you. Please like the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the videos. Those are big ways that you can help support us, which will in turn help us support, these victims that are, their courage is just tremendous to me. And it will help us to support them in turn. And thank you to Jody from the Defense Rest for everything that you are doing for them. It's just amazing that how you are bringing their stories to light, and we want to keep assisting with that. So thank you for that. And I hope, if you are in danger, I hope that my heart goes out to you, and I hope that there is some way that you can get help. There are resources, and I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say about it right now. But again, thank you for coming out, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. And I saw a couple of questions come in here as you're talking, and from people who are wanting me to answer. I'll try to maybe remember to answer those when it comes to my turn, but we got a lot of stuff to go around the horn. So let's get 1-1. What do you have to say for the evening?
Thanks to everyone. Great show, discussion, turtles, denizens, meatballs, great panel. Thanks to our amazing mods, Amanda, Penny, Big Boss Rhonda in the back, all the mods. We appreciate all of you. We'll keep fighting the good fight. Hopefully, I know JJ had the name of that Congress person. Maybe we can try to put a letter together or something. We really should.
Thomas Massey,
Massey. We should get something together.
And Rand Paul too. Is it Rand Paul?
Rand Paul. Rand Paul. Yeah.
So, on another note, a side note, I know we don't normally cover. We have a separate show we kind of do on Sunday. So I did want to mention it during the regular show, but now here at the end. For those of you who have been following us with our Kurt Cobain coverage, if you don't know, apparently there is a Seattle captain who is retired, has come forward, and he's one of the investigators that I think that worked on the case later on, not one of the initial investigators, but one of the guys later on that worked on the case. He's now come forward and said that there was a lot of fuckery that went on, and it definitely there's evidence that shows there's some kind of foul play and murder and all this stuff. So does that mean anything will happen? Well, this could be the start of something, because coming from a former captain and someone who actually worked on the case, there's some substance there. It's not just us in the true crime world, like trying to throw darts at the board. Like, oh, look over here. This is someone who actually had the evidence in front of him, the pictures, got to look at the real, all the, autopsy, everything. And hopefully something does come from it. To me,
are you guys continuing to Kurt Cobain?
No. So this Sunday, we did finish up with Kurt Cobain last Sunday, but I wanted to mention that I find it I'm not saying that it's because of us. We're not the only ones that cover Kurt Cobain. Obviously, there's other people out there, but
yeah,
I would definitely say it's very interesting that as we finished our last show on Sunday, we really threw all the shows together. I mean, everyone, JJ and Dago, and Logan gave her insight and all the stuff. I mean, we really covered the timeline and all the people involved as best we could, and we did a deep dive into the crime scene. And I just find it's very, coincidental that right after we finish, all of a sudden, this guy who's involved comes forward.
and that's why I encourage you. Amanda's saying the same thing to me in private messages. I encourage you to maybe even try to reach out to this police officer. I know that you're kind of putting him aside, but let's reach out to him. Let's reach out to him and say,
absolutely.
Hey, we agree with you. So let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get him to talk. So
yeah.
So then besides from that, yes, we are going to be doing a deep dive into Princess Diana. I did a bunch of research on her today. I feel like I want to bash my head against the wall. Another crazy case of super fuckery and all kinds of nonsense, contradictions.
I remember.
It's off the charts. I'm not going to go through it now, obviously, but everything from 14 cameras all of a sudden don't work in the tunnel, and all kinds of nonsense. Like it's
there's a
my
lot.
head's ready. My head's ready to explode. But we will cover it on Sunday. For those of you who are interested and want to kind of dive into a different kind of case. It seems like on Sunday, I guess we're kind of like doing kind of like a cold case kind of thing. We're covering these other stuff.
And I dig that what you guys are doing on the Sundays, so I can take a night off, play some cards, and you guys do something different. And I wish I could be up on the stories that you're covering because it's topics I do like, but I also have to take a night off, so it's been good.
Yeah. So I have a quote. I got a movie. I'll end on a movie quote here.
A movie quote.
This is from a 90s movie. So I guess this could be in Logan's wheelhouse. So it's from the 90s. So that's the hint. We must make a stand here and now. No longer will our penises remain flaccid and unused. It fits perfectly for Friday night.
American Pie.
Is it American Pie? Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Apparently, I don't watch movies because I don't know what any of these are.
American Pie?
I don't know them either.
That was an amazing
And that's
movie.
That's 1999 too.
All right. Here's the deal. Robin, pay attention. I have to step away to the little boy's room. Logan's going to be on camera. If she doesn't fucking go long and doesn't know how to do her job, you need to pull her off screen and bring Dago up while I'm away. I should be back very shortly.
I can do it.
Logan, what do you want to say?
I want to say that my dog is definitely on a schedule, and he's been freaking out for the last 45 minutes. And I'm not kidding. My living room is tore up right now. So I'm actually going to jump off. But thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for hitting our goal today, especially to Peter. He put in 110% on that goal. I've never done a goal, so that was kind of fun. But anyways, thank you for your conversation. Do something nice for yourself today. Be kind, but more importantly, be kind to your animals. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. We'll be on the verdict room. Tune in.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Dago.
Thank you all for joining us again. As always, an amazing panel. Amazing questions, conversation, discussion, all of it. Thank you to all of these amazing moderators, all of you. And thank you to all of you people that come to see us do this every night. You guys are all absolutely amazing. And I am absolutely enamored of all of you. None of us would be here without you. So that's facts. So thank you all. Again, thank you to 11, Robin, Lee, Logan, and JJ for being here so that we can do this, guys. This is amazing. I look forward to this every single night. So as always, I will be looking forward to this again tomorrow. But make sure that tomorrow before you come here, tune in to us at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the second episode of the Verdict Room Unfiltered with myself, Miss Logan, typically unique, the last 24. And our special guest is going to be Audrey with Glitch DNA tomorrow night. So tune in for that, guys. It should be an amazing show. And you guys have an amazing night. Don't forget to love yourselves, love each other, and don't change nothing because you guys are the beautiful people. Have a great one, folks.
Thank you very much. And I may try to check out your show sometime here soon myself. I think unless it's on Sunday. Is it on Sunday that you're talking? No, it's on Saturday, right?
Yeah, you're gonna join us one night, just so you know.
I'm gonna right. I got you. I'm gonna join you one of these things.
Yeah.
Right. JJ, what do you got?
Thank you, advocates and denizens, meatballs, believers, and the awesome mods. It was an emotional show there for a bit, and seeing Robin get emotional, made me feel emotional too. Because like I said numerous times, I have 4 sisters and they're like a gift from God for me and have been for my whole life. So people got to take care of each other, man. Amen. A lot of the shit that happens could be diminished if people just watched out for each other more. So not to get all warm and fuzzy, but I think it's important. And anyway, I think that's all I really have to say. Just take care of each other.
I appreciate that, and I, like you, want to urge that too. I don't want to get super heavy, but when I was a child, I watched abuse of females that were close to me as well. I've kind of taken it upon myself to be kind of a defender of females, and so I take it super personal when people think that I'm misogynistic or don't like people. Like I've done nothing my whole life but try to defend females, and to the fact of the point that I even had a female one time tell me, I don't need an older brother, you can back off a little bit, you don't need to defend me, kind of thing. But it's my natural character, and I think JJ made it clear that he has that same kind of sentiment. Dago have made it clear he's got that same kind of sentiment. And like you said, I think all of us men got a little emotional, and Robin got a little emotional because we feel that pain and we want to do something about it. So thank you all for listening to what was a very heavy topic for a while. Although we did have a lot of fun tonight as well. Friday night was a little off the hook. So check us out again, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow night. And until then, have a great one and take it easy, everybody. And we'll see you again soon. Take it easy.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.